Before we get started with tonight's show, I gotta thank last episode's amazing super chatter, Zach Attack Reviews. Now, if you've been on the channel long enough, you know that Zach is a real good friend of mine and a real supporter of the channel. So thank you so much, buddy, for just being a friend and also for supporting our channel on the level that you do. But if you guys haven't checked out Zach Attack Reviews, definitely head on over to his channel. He's got a link in the description below. He does movie reviews, movie trailer reactions. He has a live show of his own on Tuesday, Zach Attacks the News. Sorry if I got that a little bit wrong there, buddy. But that's every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I believe it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Even though he's a self-declared baby cinephile, he knows his stuff when it comes to talking about movies and the entertainment business. So definitely check him out. Great guy, great content. You won't be disappointed. Tonight on Zach Milne Talks Live, guys, we've got Jim Carrey. He said he was retired, but I guess that guy, money talks, man. He's coming back for Sonic 3. We have had 3 MCU actors talk about how their characters are probably set to return in the MCU, but which one do we buy, sell, and rent? David Leitch is set to direct Jurassic World 4, according to Variety. Is that a good choice? Does that fit in with his filmography up until this point? We're going to talk about all that, as well as, guys, the Super Bowl thingy is coming out on Sunday. Balls are flinging, guys are running after them, throwing them across grass. Not a sports fan, not a sports guy. But you know what I am a fan of? Those Super Bowl movie trailers. We got a list of the potential ones that'll be hitting this Sunday. And we're going to talk about which ones we're super excited for, which ones we think are probably not going to show up, and which ones aren't on the list that we are expecting to see. And I do mean we because you're here, I'm here, but we've also got a very special guest. Sully Streams is in the house, guys. I'm super excited for the show. It's going to be a good one. Let's waste no more time. Zach Milne Talks Live starts right now. Oh, StreamYard. not fully used to it again, guys. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Zach Milne Talks Live. We've got a heck of a show for you guys tonight. I'm so excited about tonight's show because I'm so excited about tonight's guest, guys. He is really blowing up, I would say, on the YouTube space. His reviews are amazing. He's got some video essays out there as well that are phenomenal. If you haven't checked this guy out, guys, I don't know what you're doing. You're missing out on a lot. Definitely check out Mr. Sully Streams. What's going on, man?
How we doing? What an introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean every word of it, man. I mean, what are you at? I think you're at 3.4 thousand, I saw.
Yeah, I think 3.4, but who's counting, right?
Yeah, I mean you're growing fast, man. It wasn't too long ago that was just a 3,000. Now you're at like 400 more to that. Like,
I think I'm hitting my groove. I think I'm
yeah.
figuring it out a little bit. So
How has YouTube been for you recently? Because we're just starting to get out of, I think, the slow season of YouTube, but January is like, it's rough. It's rough with those views and those numbers sometimes.
yeah, it can definitely be rough, especially with the quality of movies that come out in January as well. It doesn't give you really a lot to talk about. Like I'll say this too. There have been a couple times where I'll go see a movie in January and it's really not good, and I kind of knew it wasn't going to be good anyway, but I might even not put out a review for it just because I'm kind of tired about talking about movies that I'm not passionate about, really. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
if everyone's going to be ragging on this film, I don't need to dogpile onto it. Like I'm not adding anything new to the conversation, but we're coming out of that January season, like you said. I saw Lisa Frankenstein earlier this week. I really enjoyed it.
Ooh,
So
nice.
I think that's this isn't saying much, but my favorite movie of 2024 so far. But we're getting out of there. So
All right, that's good to hear, man. Because I got I don't have my tickets yet, but I believe I'm seeing Lisa Frankenstein tomorrow night.
yeah,
I
it's a
believe
lot.
my brother and I are gonna go see it. So I'm hoping I like it. I'm hoping it's good. Because how did you feel about Argyle? I don't think you were a fan of it, if I remember correctly.
So I wasn't as negative as I saw a lot of people were. I was pretty split down the middle. I mean, was it dumb? Was it stupid? Sure, but I was
Oh,
also like laughing and having fun in the theater at the same time. And there is something to be said about that. I do think the theater experience enhances that though. Like it's very possible those moments that had me laughing and I was clapping for, if I was in a room by myself watching it at home, I don't know if I would have reacted the same way. But
yeah.
um Yeah, I'm a little worried about where Matthew Vaughn is headed, but it wasn't as bad as everyone was saying, but it was just all right.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Matthew Vaughn's work, but I will say it was definitely better than what I consider his worst that I've seen, and that was Kingsman: Golden Circle. I mean, I thought that movie was really bad, but
Especially after the first one, which was awesome.
such a letdown. It was such a letdown that I have like no real excitement to watch The Kingsman, and that's been out for a while now.
The
So,
Kingsman is better. I will say
is it
that.
better than
I
that?
enjoy.
Okay.
There's actually some shockingly dramatic moments like I was not expecting, but it's much better than Golden Circle.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I gotta get around to that one. But yeah, I enjoyed Argyle, but like I totally relate to you on that. Like there was some real bad stuff watched like did you see that role play on Amazon with Kaylee Cuoco?
Oh, no, I did not. Was that any
You're
good?
lucky. You're lucky.
Okay,
It
all
was
right.
off. It's the worst movie of the year for me so far. I thought it was there was one good scene in it, in my opinion. There was one scene I liked. The rest of it just felt, oh man, it was January and it was a streaming movie
Um,
too.
I know you talked to Jacob and Luke a good amount. I don't know if you ended up seeing this yourself. Have you seen Founders Day?
No, I've heard nothing good
Oh my
about that.
god. Oh my god. I really think I was like trying to date myself a little bit and look back. I think that's the worst movie I've ever kicked off a year with. It is abysmal,
Did
but
that go to theaters?
it did, and I saw it at one of
Okay.
those Regal mystery movie screenings. I don't think it lasted in theaters very long. They had to trick me basically to get into the theater to see it, but it was yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, that didn't come to my theater, so
Yeah,
no,
for good reason.
I probably won't end up seeing that one, to be honest with you. It's probably
Yeah,
just gonna slip through the
good,
cracks.
good. If I
But
can convince one more person not to watch that, that's a win.
yeah. But like you said, we're coming out of it now. January's over. I've liked the first movie in February that I saw, so hopefully Lisa Frankenstein. It sounds like it might, considering your point of view, and I feel like I align on your reviews. Uh, I would say 80% of the time. I would
I'll
say
take that.
80% of the time.
That's a passing grade.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one that we very like we're on like polar opposites of was the Meg 2. Because I did agree with like everything you said, but I
Yes.
enjoyed it as the guilty pleasure shark movie that it was.
I think it was for better or for worse. I love the first Meg movie. And this one was just I don't know. You don't want to get me going on this
Yeah.
again. So we'll let bygones be bygones here.
Absolutely. And we're not the only ones here. You are here, and we're so thankful you're here. We can't wait to talk about all of these topics, all this movie stuff with you guys. And we already have a super chat in here from Impressive Tony sending in $5.
Tony.
Dude, thank you so much, dude. That's so appreciated. I really appreciate that. He says, "Hey, fellas, just stopping by to say hi before I head off to bed. Keep crushing it. I'm a big fan of everything you do." Oh, thank you, dude. Likewise, dude. Like, if you guys haven't checked out Impressive Tony, he's another guy on here just killing it. Great content, great reviews, lot of fun. And yeah, I guess this is a good time to bring up that if you guys want to send in a super chat to support the channel on that level, it is so greatly appreciated. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. And because I appreciate that so much, and it's such a kindness to do, I know a lot of you guys have channels of your own. So if you send in a super chat, we've got a super chat guide here for $1.99. You'll get a community post made at the end of the show linking to your channel. For $2.99, you get the community post as well as the link to your channel in the description of this video below. And for $4.99 or more, you'll get the community post, the link in the description of this video, as well as next episode's video, and a special video shout out at the beginning of next episode, like you saw for Zack Attack Reviews at the beginning of this episode. But as always, guys, super chats, they are not required to get your comment or question answered. But I will preface that by saying whenever I have a guest on, you guys like to talk a little bit more than you guys already like to talk, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with the chat as it is. So for tonight, I don't promise to get to every single question and comment. There might be a couple that we have to skip over just so we're not here for 4 hours, because that's just a little bit too long, especially for my guy Sully here. What time is it for you over there, man?
I'm Eastern time, so it's 10:40, but don't tempt me with a good time. If people are asking questions and you want to go, I'll go. But we have obligations, tomorrow, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's only 7:40 for me here, but that 10 o'clock comes fast when we're having a good time with you guys. So, but thank you once again, Impressive Tony, for that super chat. That was very, very generous of you.
Tony rocks.
He's awesome. We got Enviro Earth 2 in here saying looking forward to asking you questions. Well, I'm glad you could make it, man. I know you were looking forward to the show. So same with Frankie Beastmaker. What's going on, dude? Thanks for being here. He says he can't wait to get started. And I'm glad you made it to this one, dude. You've been commenting saying how disappointed you are when you missed them. So I'm glad you made it. Jay Pylon's in here saying, hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. Nathan's Random Movies is in here asking, hi, Zach and Sully. Thoughts on the new A Quiet Place Day 1 trailer? Did you happen to catch this trailer?
So I didn't see the trailer yet, but I do have general thoughts just from a franchise perspective.
Go for it, dude.
I just think I might be in the minority here, but I was let down by the second movie. I liked the first one. I almost wish it just kind of ended there. So I don't have insanely high hopes for this third movie. They'd really have to wow me, and I will happily admit if I'm wrong and it rocks. I think the one thing it has going for it, though, other than it has a good cast, is I think the guy that directed Nicolas Cage's Pig is doing this one, and I loved that movie Pig. So hopefully, maybe he brings something new to it.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I wasn't as let down with The Quiet Place Part 2, I'm sure, as you would, but I did think it was a step down from the first one. I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. But the first one, I really liked how it focused on the family aspect and then how suspenseful it was with the not making sound. And I feel like with the second one, first of all, John Krasinski was gone, so that kind of lost something too. But also the kind of thrill of not making the sound didn't play as well second time around.
Yeah.
And my worry with day one is like I said, I like that suspenseful, like the family aspect. The monsters are almost like the bonus in the first movie. Whereas the beginning of the second one kind of showed day one, and it was great for a section, but like that's not what I love about A Quiet Place movies. I love the trying to stay quiet, and because it's day one, they probably haven't learned that yet.
Right.
So what I will say about the trailer though is it does look more like a sci-fi crazy action horror flick than the first one was, but I dug it.
Okay.
It was a pretty cool trailer, and it has a great tagline. The tagline at the end of the trailer is "The day the Earth went quiet."
Okay, I like that.
That kind of sold me.
Yeah.
I like that. Put that on the poster. I'll buy
Seriously. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I'll have to watch it. Like, I just didn't get around to doing it yet. And it's like, first off, we just talk about what is with all these companies jumping the gun when we think that they're doing the Super Bowl trailers, and then they're just like, screw it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, we'll probably not get a different one for the Super Bowl. It'll probably be like a condensed version of the one that we just got, which is, oh well. I still enjoyed it. The Laser, what's going on, dude? He says, have you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I have. I haven't finished it, but I remember I liked it quite a bit. Have you seen that one?
I actually have not watched that, but I'm a big Sandberg guy, even though I haven't seen the show.
You'd probably love it if you're a big it's very Sandberg.
Yeah.
Laser also says, and have you heard of Moana 2 2024 release date 6 months before the live action remake of 2025? Toy Story 5 and Frozen 3 have a release date of 2026, and Frozen 2 releases in theaters November 27th. Okay, well, let's focus on that Moana 2, because that was something that I almost made as a topic, but I figured you guys were going to ask about it, so I just figured we wait till the chat. Did you see that they're dropping Moana 2? First of all, they dropped a teaser, and I believe it comes out November of this year. Did you hear about a Moana 2? Because I don't remember a Moana 2.
I knew. You know what? I don't know if I did. Like, I think I might be confusing it with, like, I might just be pretending I did right now, but I think I just remember them announcing the live action. Like, I don't remember a sequel.
With the Rock? Yeah, that's all I remember too. I have a bit of a conspiracy theory about the sequel. So I have nothing to base this off of. Obviously, this is all speculation.
This is the best kind of conspiracy theory.
This is something. Yes, exactly. This is just something that popped into my head. So we all know that Disney had a pretty poor year last year. They dipped in the box office, and we know that Bob Iger, his kind of intention or his plan going forward, like mentioned in this comment with Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, Zootopia, all these movies that were over $1 billion, they're doing sequels to in hopes to get another $1 billion.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure, I might have to double check this, but I'm pretty sure Moana also made $1 billion.
Wouldn't be
And
surprised.
and we know that Disney and other studios, they are not hesitant, nor do they have morals with how they'll work their CGI artists and these computer animators. My conspiracy theory is this was rushed last second to try and make up for last year's box office abysmal by being like, Moana made $1 billion, let's get a 2 out there. It wouldn't take much to make animators work 24 hours a day for a couple weeks, maybe a month, to get that teaser made and then put out there as they're continuing to work on the movie right now with harsh hours
Mhm.
and all the conditions that we know about. And Lin Manuel, wait, what's his name? Lin Manuel
Lin-Manuel
Miranda?
Miranda, yeah.
Yeah, he's already not attached to it. He's
Yeah.
not composing this one. I haven't heard anything about is I don't think anyone spoke in the teaser either, but is what's her name? Alia Cavero, whatever, whoever voiced
Yeah,
Moana.
whoever
Is
yeah.
she back? Because we haven't heard anything about the cast. We haven't heard anything about any. Have they talked to these people yet? Or are they just pushing this thing out in hopes to make a few bucks? Now that's just like I said, conspiracy theory probably has no merit to it whatsoever. But it is something that came across my mind when I watched that teaser and why we have
So,
no announcement for it.
just to make sure I've got this correctly, is your conspiracy theory that you and I don't remember there being an announcement for Moana 2 because there never was one, and they're just
Yes.
like, "Okay,
There was
alright." I
never an
like
announcement
that.
for Moana 2. They never had any plans to. They just decided to start putting it maybe at the end of last year. They were like, okay, box office was not good this year. What can we do next? Because what does Disney have coming this year? I don't think they have much in terms of animation that is really big for the year 2024, do they? They have Deadpool 3, which will be
Yep.
huge.
Yeah, that'll be massive.
Um, they have Mufasa, the Lion King
Is that this
prequel.
year?
I'm pretty sure that's this. I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
saw that it was this year. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, regardless of my conspiracy theory or not, that's probably not true. I'm looking forward to it. I like the first Moana. So Moana 2, bring it on. We got another super chat in here from Michael Entity. Dude, thank you so much. And you're a beloved channel member, dude. So thank you so much for all the generosity, all the support towards the channel. He says, hey guys, what's a villain, DC or Marvel, that has never been portrayed in live action form, but you would love to see in a film? For me, it's Null. Not gonna lie, dude. I'm very um unknowledgeable on comic book villains because I don't really read the comics. I just see them when they happen in the movies. But I have wanted to see Scorpion in Spider-Man 4. Honestly, I would love if they did Scorpion for a Spider-Man film. Do you know any comic villains that you'd want to see?
I think it'd be kinda cool if they did, like, Man Bat in Batman, which is, like, a cool, like, villain. He's literally just, like, a massive bat, and it's kinda cool seeing the interactions there and the fights with
Oh
him and
yeah, I've seen
Batman.
him.
But if I'm gonna get cheeky with the answer, even though this is in the MCU, I want them to do Taskmaster correctly. So,
Oh yeah,
that's my off color answer.
yeah. No, that was a letdown in Black Widow.
Yep, I love
Big letdown.
Taskmaster, and they kinda botched it.
All right, let's see here. We got Toxic Gamer saying, "Hey Zach and Sully, how's y'all days been? Been doing well, man."
Can't complain.
Let's see. He also goes on to say, watching Child Play 2 while also drawing a picture while watching you at the same time. Well, as always, dude, it's an honor to be a part of your multitasking. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I just want to say thank you for joining us, Derpy Entertainment. John West. Yeah, Film Review Central. Thank you so much. Movie Reviews with Ryan Lane. Saying David Leitch is an interesting choice for Jurassic World 4. He has done action movies, but never at the scale of a Jurassic World movie. We will get to it, my friend. We have a full topic for that we're going to talk about. The Laser says he's just described as
The
Sully.
laser.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's what we like to hear. Toxic Gamer says, are you guys going to be seeing Lisa Frankenstein? You already saw it. I'm going to hopefully see it tomorrow. Can you give us a little bit of what you thought? Or
Yeah. No, the best way I've been able to describe it is I feel like it's like Edward Scissorhands mixed with Heathers, if you've seen both of those.
mm,
Or it's like it's kind of got like a zombie version of Mean Girls, if you can picture that. But
That's
um,
the pitch right
yeah,
there.
I know that. But it's funny, it's weird, doesn't take itself too seriously. Great 80s soundtrack. I had a blast with it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. Old Maddie, thank you for joining us. The laser. Dua Lipa's the only reason I'm gonna watch Argyle. Well, dude,
Oh boy. Who's
you
gonna
might.
tell him? Who's gonna tell him?
Let's just say it's gonna be a short viewing for you. If that's all you're there to see, you'll be home before you know it. We got Aaron Austin in here. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, Austin? Thanks for joining us, man. The laser says Saving Bikini Bottom, the worst movie of 2024, 3 out of 10. Oh, I've never seen the SpongeBob movie. Is this like a TV movie? I've never seen that one. Probably won't see that one either. To be honest with you. We got Luke Ponto in here. What's going on, my guy? What's up, Zach and
Luke.
Sully? Good to see you, boys. Good to see you too, man. And I saw that you were on Chainsaw channel over there on Council of Creators. So that's awesome, dude. Yeah, we got View with Drew in here. Invite with two Dakota Man Movies. Thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, thank you all for being here. I think we're gonna kick off with topic number 1. We'll get into this, and we'll start with this. You guys might remember that Jim Carrey, who I freaking adore Jim Carrey. Love the guy, love him so much. I mean, one of my favorite actors, definitely one of my favorite comedic performers in movies of all time. I was disappointed. I was sad, but I was also willing to accept when Jim Carrey announced his retirement. His retirement from not just Sonic the Hedgehog, but acting as a whole. Saying, I've given all that I have to give, and I just want to take some time for myself. And I was like, that's totally reasonable. Sucks for me as a fan. Totally reasonable. Well, whether he just has the passion for Dr. Robotnik and Sonic, or more realistically, money talks, it appears that Jim Carrey is in fact going to be back in Sonic 3. Here's what Variety had to say about this. We haven't seen the last of Dr. Robotnik. Jim Carrey will reprise his role as the mad scientist with the formidable facial hair in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The news comes despite the fact that, and here are some spoilers, the second film in the series ended with Dr. Robotnik falling from a giant robot to the ground below, a potentially fatal tumble. In the film's post-credit scenes, however, it is revealed that Dr. Robotnik's body has not been found, setting the stage for Sonic's main antagonist to make a dramatic return. So, I'll throw two things at you, Sully. Did you think that Jim Carrey was going to come back? Did you expect him to come back? And do you want to see him come back now that we have Shadow introduced? Because it kind of felt like that post-credit scene was kind of passing the baton of like, because I honestly, I totally believed he was dead. It it looked like a deadly fall to me, and I think he got crushed by that robot too. So
Yeah.
when they had Shadow come in, I was like, okay, they kind of used Jim Carrey to get the general audience in the door, not just the hardcore Sonic fans. They've done that. These movies are now successful. They don't need him anymore, and we can move on with some real Sonic extended lore. What are your thoughts on that?
So, like you, I'm a big Jim Carrey fan, and I am not gonna lie. Like, I think that like retirement announcement didn't that happen like pretty soon after Sonic 2 came out?
I think it was on the press junket for
Right. So
Sonic
I
2.
like so
Yeah.
I was already kind of bummed like watching the movie, and I'm not going to lie, like I remember tweeting about it, being passionate about it, being like I need him in the third movie. Like I can't rest until I have at least some closure like yes or no that he's going to be in it or not. Um and I think you're right. Money talks for sure. I'm sure they offered him a hefty paycheck to be in the third one, but I think his story isn't done here. And for whatever reason, I mean, it makes sense because I grew up with Sonic. I'm a huge Sonic fan. Um, Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube was like my entire childhood, but um, I don't think his story's over. And more importantly, we have not seen the fat Robotnik yet. So I
Ah,
think that he's going to be in the fat suit for the third movie.
I could see that being enticing to him. I could see
Yes.
his comedic juices flowing if they told him that that's what he got to do.
Well, when you think about it, it's like so the first movie he kind of just looked like Jim Carrey with a mustache.
Yeah.
The second movie, he was bald. He had the trademark red goggles. The mustache got a little bit more crazy. So, like, he had the face right, but he was skinny. And now it's just like
Right.
the natural evolution. Like, I think he has to be a big boy for this third one.
He's got to be thick.
I do think I see both sides with the whole do we need him for this third movie thing because we kind of already saw like when they brought Knuckles in the second movie and they kind of teamed up together, they shared the limelight for that antagonist role. And obviously, I think the second movie is the better film compared to the first one. Um, so obviously, that combination worked. But Shadow definitely, there's enough stuff there for Shadow to be the sole antagonist if they wanted to do that. But clearly, they're going another route just because Jim Carrey probably is 100% back, which I'm not going to complain about. But I'm just pumped to see Shadow on the big screen.
I'm glad you're here actually because I did not grow up with Sonic.
Mhm.
I know very, very, very little, next to nothing about Sonic.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why this is a real smart decision to me.
Okay.
I didn't care about Sonic 3.
Hmm.
Like, I enjoyed the first one well enough. The second one went deeper into the lore that it kind of lost me a little
Hmm.
bit. I
Okay.
didn't enjoy it as much as that first one. I liked the buddy between James Marsden and Sonic in that first one, and that was kind of lost for the more Sonic lore characters in the second one.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand what Tails even does. It was just an exposition machine to me. I don't know what the character is.
The
That's kind of
tech guy.
yeah, I guess so. He was sent there to save Sonic. Why? I don't know. But Tails is in the movie now. That's kind of how I viewed the whole movie. So I'll be honest. I had no interest in seeing Sonic 3. I was probably going to see it just to get a review out.
Hmm.
But this has taken me from I don't care about seeing Sonic 3 to now that Jim Carrey's back. Yeah, I'll check out Sonic 3. I mean, it's got Jim Carrey again. So I think you're going to have a lot of people that are going to have that kind of same reaction that I have
Hmm.
once you see Jim Carrey back in the trailers. I do think, even though the franchise doesn't necessarily need him anymore, I think it's more than benefited by still having him in there. But I want to ask you, as the Sonic fan and with all the knowledge, is there history between Shadow and Robotnik that you could see them taking a storyline from for this third movie, or is Shadow and Robotnik, are they not really a thing together? How can you see him being incorporated in the same story as Shadow?
To me, so that'll be interesting to see what they do because if I'm thinking about it, I can see them like the way that I would propose the storyline is probably the storyline they kind of already used with Robotnik and Knuckles.
Mm,
Like kind of like they both have a common goal and kind of use each other. Um,
yeah. Well, they can't do that because Hollywood never recycles ideas.
no, no,
No,
no, that would
no,
be
it's
silly.
gotta be original. Yeah.
But I think even if they kind of went a similar route, Shadow is such a good character that it'll just be cool seeing him do his thing because he's like always known as kind of like he's like everything that Sonic can do, but better. Like he's like created in a lab,
Mm.
basically. He's like the bioengineered, like perfect hedgehog. And it's like Sonic, obviously, even with that being the case, still has to like get creative and find a way to beat him, basically. And it's always interesting to see how that happens. But they have a great dynamic, like a good rivalry. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I really have a great answer to that without saying that it's going to end up kind of being like the Knuckles storyline again, because there's a lot of parts throughout the Sonic games and shows and stuff. Like Knuckles is a villain a lot of the time, and Knuckles is a friend a lot of the time. So
Right.
it's like,
They kind of played with that in Sonic too.
right. And I almost wish they didn't because then they would have been able to do it with Shadow. But
Right.
I'm not really sure where it's going to go, but I'm excited for it.
I think engineered to be the perfect hedgehog is all I need to know about what Sonic 3 is going to be
That's what's going to
like.
happen. Yeah.
All right. Well, question goes to you guys. What do you guys think of this? Are you excited that Jim Carrey is reprising his role as Robotnik for Sonic 3? Or are you hoping that Shadow would have the full spotlight and we could leave this character behind? Comment down below and let us know. We'd love to hear all your thoughts and opinions about that. And before we take our intermission and take more of your comments and questions, we're going to move on. We're going to take topic number 2. And topic number 2 is this, guys. So, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is kind of in this place right now where they're trying to introduce a bunch of new characters. They're not really latching on with the audience. So now they're like, who do we bring back? Who do we don't? How do we move forward without also taking steps back and pulling out Captain America and Iron Man once again? So comes the question, who are we going to see return? What Avengers are going to come back for Kang Dynasty, if it's still called that, Secret Wars, whatever? Well, we have not one, not two, but 3 actors in the MCU who suggest that they will indeed be back. That is in the form of Paul Bettany, Jeremy Renner, and Josh Brolin. Here's what they had to say separately. Coming from the direct, we've got Paul Bettany. While the direct was attending Paul Bettany's MagCon 2024 panel on February 3rd, the actor confirmed that he's set to return to the MCU. The announcement came in response to a fan asking if there was a possibility of Vision returning to the franchise in any way, shape, or form, to which Bettany responded, yes, 100%. And the convo went, fan, in any way, shape, or form, will Vision return, or are you going to return to the MCU? Bettany, after a long pause, well, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I? Yes, 100%. Moving on to Jeremy Renner, who did an interview with ET after his near-death accident with that happened last year. He went on to say, as for if he'll return to the Avengers franchise now that he's on the mend, Renner told Entertainment Tonight, I'm always game. I'm going to be strong enough, that's for sure. I'll be ready. All those guys come to my bedside and they've been with me all along through this recovery. So if they want me, they could have me. It would be something. And then we got Josh Brolin over at comicbook.com. He's talking too. When asked if Thanos could show up again, Brolin teased he's heard some rumors about his potential return. You know, I hear kind of like through the grapevine that they're going to bring him back, Brolin teased. And there's the What If series, and that's a different kind of Thanos and all that. But I don't know in the Marvel world whether they're going to bring him back. But I didn't know that he was the most killed off villain. You learn something new every day. Apparently, Thanos is the most killed off Marvel villain ever. So there you have it, guys. 3 actors saying that they're coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So now the question that we're going to play with, which of these actors do we buy coming back? Which of these actors do we rent coming back? And which do we just full out sell coming back? I'm going to start with our guest, Sully. Sully, who of these guys do you buy, rent, sell, and why?
I'm buying Jeremy Renner.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's always really consistent in any movie, but he's really good as the Hawkeye character in the MCU. They've proven that they still have good stories for him to add to. And I think I've tried to think of a better example for what I'm about to say, and let me know if you can think of one. But I think Jeremy Renner is probably like he's probably like the best actor we've ever seen that hasn't been trusted with the reins of his own franchise. So like he played second fiddle in that
Mm,
one-off Bourne movie. He's like
right.
he took over another franchise later on. He was like pushed to the side in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, they like
Um
almost set him up for something in Mission
he's
Impossible, but
always
it never happened.
almost there. And he's never trusted with like the full kit and caboodle to go on and like lead his own franchise. Um, and if I did I ever envision that maybe like 5 or 10 years ago, like would I have picked him to be like the legacy character that stays on and like maybe becomes like that old leader figure? Definitely not, because I was just like a huge Captain America guy. Um, but I mean, he's a good actor. I like him in the role, so I'd probably pretty much buy him for as long as he wants to play the character. I'm not expecting massive things and tons of solo movies or anything, but just as being a part of the MCU, I'd buy that.
All right. You know what? I'm in the market with you. I'm buying him too.
Perfect.
I'm buying him because I think that of the characters, and we'll talk about the rest of them. Um, I feel like he is the one who has the most potential to still move forward. I feel like even though they kind of had this story arc completed with him and Black Widow, he's never really been Hawkeye on his own without Black Widow. So this is a whole new phase of his life that it's so ripe to explore, and we kind of got a little bit of that exploration in the Hawkeye series. I would have liked him to have go deeper in the Hawkeye series, but they didn't go as deep as I wanted them to. But even his relationship with Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop, I don't feel like we've seen the end of that. I personally don't want to see the end of that. And I feel like with Avengers, my theory, my theory for the Avengers movies, Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars, I still feel like the reason why we haven't gotten the full confirmation of who is in the Avengers is because I believe they're going to team up in Avengers Kang Dynasty, similar to how the first Avengers we had the solo movies and then they teamed up as the Avengers in that movie. I feel like something's going to happen in Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars where all the characters we've been following now will be forced to do something and form a new Avengers. And I feel like if you want to have a Nick Fury type person who's also from the old regime be in there with them, I think Hawkeye is a very, very good choice. So
Mhm.
I'm with you there. I'm buying Jeremy Renner. I think he'll be back 100%. Let's talk about who you rent.
I gotta rent Vision. I gotta rent
Mm.
Paul Bettany's Vision here. So I've just never been like the biggest Vision guy. Like he's never been the focal point. He's never been the draw for me when I'm going to see something in the MCU. Um, I don't want to say that he's overstayed his welcome for me, but I like I don't know. As I will say, and this might catch a little heat, like I really loved WandaVision when it came out and when it was live week to week. And like as time has gone by, I've gotten like more sour on it.
Mm.
I don't really think that that's not a totally a vision problem, but just kind of the show as a whole. Um, like I've seen a lot of him. I think that they can still do stuff with him. If he said he was never coming back, I wouldn't be like, on the ground in the fetal position. But if he
Right.
says he's coming back, like great, I'll rent that. I don't know how much I want. I don't want him in everything, but I'm down to see if they give us something new because they've already done a lot and he's like died a lot and came back a lot. So if they can give me something that doesn't involve that, which I don't know if they can, yeah, I mean, I'll rent that.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as you. I think I'd rent Vision. I think I'd rent him for some of the same reasons you would. I've never loved him.
Yeah,
Like he's just never been an adventure that I'm like I'm going to this movie because I can't wait to see what Vision does.
right.
Doesn't often happen. In fact, I feel like people will kind of rewrite history a little bit. No one really cared about Wanda or Vision until WandaVision. Like
Right.
WandaVision did a lot to those secondary characters to elevate them up to a new standard. And Elizabeth Olsen, she was not talked about in the same way as she is now after WandaVision, before WandaVision. And I'm just not that interested in solo Vision.
Yeah.
Like I think they really found their stride with him with Wanda. But now you've also like, and this might be a whole other buy or sell, but now you've got like Wanda's gone, allegedly. I mean, we saw her die in
She'll be
Multiverse of
back.
Madness. I believe she'll be back too,
She'll
but
be
for
back.
now, she's MCU dead.
Yeah.
She's gone for a little bit. Um, and I don't even know if after WandaVision, like I'm that interested in seeing their relationship again because I feel like they just explored so much of it in WandaVision that I just feel like I don't know, it just feels redundant at some point to bring them back together again and do the whole lovey thing they did in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
And also Vision he's not someone who is lent to being a solo character. He's a robot. He hardly even emotes that way. Like Paul Bettany is excellent at playing him. But as far as like an engaging character, I would say he's one of the least. But
He's a secondary guy.
yeah, he's secondary. But if you
Yeah.
bring him into the Avengers fold again somehow, I guess he'd be White Vision because
I
we
was gonna
still haven't seen
say,
where
I
he
think that's all we
goes.
have left, right?
Yeah, is White Vision,
Yeah.
which I don't know. He flew off into who knows
Yeah, who
where.
knows?
They don't seem to care. For all we
No.
know, He might pop up in Fantastic Four. Who knows? He flew into
Yeah.
space or something. But yeah, as far as like, would I be excited if they announced that Vision would be back? Not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily be like upset. I wouldn't be sad that he's back. Like, I don't want to see him again. Like, I'd be fine seeing him again pop up in the Avengers and stuff like that. But I just don't know what else you do with this character to keep him interesting without being redundant and recycling old character ideas.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So why do we sell Thanos?
Yeah, I mean, I think you summed it up well earlier with your Disney conspiracy theory. Like, this is Moana 2 if they bring him
Mm,
back. Like, this is like, how do we get butts and seats again? Well, let's just recycle something when we were making $2 billion like every couple years at the box office with a massive movie event,
yeah.
and just replicate that again. Like, this would I will happily like put my foot in my mouth if they come up with the most interesting and intricate way to bring him back that's going to make me say, "Oh my god, they found a way to do it," and it's not like a cash grab. I'd be happier than anyone if they somehow make that happen, but there is no way that they're going to figure out a way to do that. And I think I don't know if Brolin was just kind of playing coy in that little bit of the interview, but like I read that interview snippet a couple times, and I really think like the guy just asked him like, "Would you do Thanos again?" But I
Mhm.
don't know if there actually was any like rumors that he's going to do anything or that they're bringing the character back. And I hope that hasn't crossed anyone's mind because I just think that would be a colossal mistake, and it actually cheapens what they accomplished in that Infinity Saga phase.
I completely agree. It's one of those things where it's like what you were saying with the quote. Yeah, he could have pulled that out of his butt as an actor just to be
Yes.
like, "Hey, I'll get the buzz going. Maybe Marvel will hear about it. Maybe I get
Right.
hired again. Who knows, right?" I mean, actors they're out here for themselves. They
Yes.
really are. But yeah, when it comes to Thanos, it's just one of those things where you delude the story, you delude the character. It's they focus so much on the character is a part of pulp culture. Fans seem to like him. He's talked about. He'll get butts and seats, but they forget about why he got butts and seats. And that was the story that they built with him. That was the inclusion of his story in Infinity War, how well the build up to him and the care for that matter of him was taken when he first appeared and how satisfying Endgame was. Because if Endgame isn't that satisfying, if like some people I know had problems with Thanos' end, but if you're not satisfied with how the character goes out, that that really does dip in the any kind of love for the character and its story. And I think the testament to how Thanos has stayed in the pop culture for the number of for these years that he has since Endgame, I think that is because of the story they gave him in Infinity War and Endgame and how satisfying it was and how well it fit into what they were doing. If you brought him back, it would just feel like, well, he was a popular villain,
Mhm.
so let's bring him back for another one, and it just doesn't feel like there's purpose there. It does it once again it feels redundant, it feels recycled. We have moved on from the Infinity Saga. The Infinity Saga is done, it's complete. Thanos was the big boss at the end. They defeated him. It's done. We're satisfied. Give us something new. And I just think that if Marvel I think that's one of the things that Marvel would that would be a big mistake of theirs because I feel like their past year in 2023 kind of proved that we want something new and
Yes.
exciting. We don't just like want the same old kind of stuff. And yeah, I think Thanos bringing Thanos back I think would be a cheap pop, but I
I
don't think it would have
mean,
much substance.
think about too, like if they did that, still to this day, people are memeing that line from the last Star Wars movie of somehow Palpatine returned. Like
Yeah.
that's what this would be. So,
I mean, if you did it that way, somehow Thanos
God,
has returned.
hard sell.
Yeah, no, I don't want that at all. So, yeah, I think we agree. I think we agree on our buy, sell, or rent for these characters coming back. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the buy, rent, or sell for these characters? Are you looking forward to possibly seeing Thanos return, or do you think that he should stay dusted like Sully and I do? Comment down below and let us know, guys. And with that, let's take a brief intermission, and we will tackle some of these lovely comments and questions that you lovely people are putting into the chat right now. And wow, you guys are really filling this thing up. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see here. We got View with Drew saying he hit 800 subscribers. So congratulations, man. That's very exciting. And you saw the first 2 Fast and Furious movies today. I hate Too Fast, Too Furious.
I hate Too Fast, Too Furious too.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. So
the only good part of it is that the Paul Walker famous line, the "forget about it, cuh." I think that's that one.
Right.
It's terrible.
Right. And that's the movie that introduces Roman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not one of my favorite characters.
Terrible addition.
Too Fast, Too Furious just sucks all the way around.
It's really bad.
But I hope you enjoyed it, Drew. I hope you had a good day. Toxic Gamer is saying, speaking of Zach and Sully, I have a tough question. Who's someone in your guys' community that your movie taste aligns with the most and aligns with the least? He asked me this I think it was last week. So I'd like to hear from you, man. What's a movie reviewer or someone in the space, big, small, that you align with and ones you don't?
Oh man, that's tough.
Who do you watch? Who are like your go-to movie reviewers? Who do you watch?
Well, obviously started kind of like my YouTube consumption phase, like with all the big boys, like obviously like Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns.
Yeah.
I actually will say, I think my personal style and personal critiquing, since it's kind of shifted as I've started the channel versus when I was just a movie watcher, like when I didn't have to like display my thoughts, I was way more of a Stuckman guy. And now to the point where I don't even really even watch him anymore. I'm like all Jeremy Johns when I didn't used to really watch Jeremy Johns, which is weird. I don't really know why that happened. But talking about people kind of like more our size in the community, not that I necessarily agree with them all the time, but you know, I watch a lot of Zack Attack stuff. I watch a lot of I love I love Kenny Sparks.
Ken's great.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Shout out to Ken.
I watch a lot of his stuff. I also watch do you know Movie Dean?
Oh, I love Movie Dean.
Yeah.
Incredibly underrated.
Yeah, incredibly underrated. High production value. Seems like a really good dude. I'm trying to think. Other than that, I'm blanking now. Like obviously I watch a lot of people, but and I watched a lot of Tony's stuff who was in here earlier.
Press of Tony, yep. Absolutely.
But,
well, shout out to those guys. Definitely check out their channels if you haven't yet.
yeah.
And if we didn't say your channels, because we just don't like you, I guess.
Not what I said.
It's not true. He didn't say my channel, so there you go.
I'm on here. I assumed that was assumed.
Yeah, that's fair. Old Maddie's saying Spider-Man 4, Venom, Hardy, and Spidey Holland team up to fight Carnage. Thoughts? I don't want it because I don't want to ever have to say the Venom movies are canon to the MCU. Like, I'm already trying so hard not to have to say that with like Venom already appearing in the post-credit scene No Way Home and acting like that doesn't count, and Vulture coming into Morbius and acting like that doesn't count. If we get Holland in there interacting with one of these characters, then it's done. I just have to admit that it's a part.
I'll take it, but don't give me Eddie Redmayne as Carnage. I'll
say
that. No, I'm not buying that.
Do you like the Venom movies?
No. I remember I got a lot of heat on because there's a surprisingly big, I won't call it a cult following because they're like mainstream movies and they're big budget and stuff. But like for as many people that I think passionately hate the Venom movies, there's somehow just as many that love them.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of heat. I remember when I was really starting to put out YouTube videos, one of my first videos, I think, was for the second movie that I titled, like everybody, Venom, Let There Be Garbage. And it was, I had a lot of like 10-year-olds on iPads, like trying to put me in my place. So yeah, I don't like either of those movies. They had a lot of parts of them that I did enjoy, but then they constantly, like every one decision I liked, they'd make two that I was like, okay, I need to get out of here.
I enjoyed the second one more than the first one, but I don't think either one of them is great.
No.
Aaron Austin says the second Quiet Place movie wowed me, and I feel like I was the only one. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't think it was I thought it was good. Like I thought it was very good. It didn't quite hit the heights of the first one for me.
I mean, I definitely said wow, but it was like, wow, I'm underwhelmed.
Not the wow you want.
No.
Enviro Earth 2 says, do you think the demand for Spider-Man movies had lowered since we got No Way Home resolved, the old Spider-Man, etc.? I don't think so. I think if anything, it's increased because now everyone wants Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire and Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield. And I feel like the talk of that had kind of gone dormant because we kind of accepted that we'd never see it. But now that they've given us the vision that it could be possible, I feel like those conversations have ramped back up. So honestly, personally, I think it's only increased. What do you think, man?
I just don't think that we're ever going to live in a world where demand for Spider-Man movies ever lowers.
Yeah,
Like he's pretty much everyone's favorite superhero, or like the superhero that got you into superheroes for a reason.
very true.
Very relatable, street level. Seems like he's just a normal kid that got flung into this scenario. So, no, I mean, like I can complain on the internet all I want, but I'll be there day one for any Spider-Man project, pretty much.
Oh yeah, and I will say though, I think the demand for these Spider-Man less movies that Sony are doing, those have diminished. I don't hear too many people excited for. Are you excited for Madam Web? I feel like that's
Look,
a rhetorical question, but are
I
you
will say I'm not excited for Madam Web, but you are talking to a guy that's going on Valentine's Day. So,
really? You're
yes.
doing it
By myself.
by
My
yourself?
fiance is not even coming. But
That's the gift you're giving her for Valentine's Day.
literally, yeah. I mean, we've been traveling a lot, so we both agreed we're not, and we're getting married very soon, so we're both like, let's just cool it on the Valentine's this year. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna torture myself and see Madam Web.
Oh, that's exciting, man. On the marriage. Congrats on that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no,
Not
I'm
about Madam Web.
yeah, no, not Madam Web. I am hoping to see it on Tuesday the 13th. I'm hoping that so far my theater doesn't have a showing for it. It only has the Wednesday showing, which sometimes they do have the day
Right.
before evening showing. If they don't have it on the 13th, I'm not spending Valentine's Day
Yeah.
at Madam Web. I'm gonna spend it with my
Fair
wife.
enough.
I've already told her that, so I will see it the following day on the 16th. But yeah, I'm a guy who talks about movies on the internet, and it's one of those movies that it's gonna get clicks, so I might as
Yes,
well go
that's
see
definitely
it.
gonna get a lot of clicks. I didn't even
But
think about that, what you're saying, though. I'll have to look if there's a Tuesday night. That would be great, but
yeah,
haven't seen
I
it yet.
I think my theater might not be showing it on Tuesday because Tuesday is their $5 ticket deal, and I feel
Mm.
like they wouldn't want to do that with a new movie. So I'm thinking it might not come out early.
Especially one that's not projecting well in the first place.
Very true.
Yep.
Very true. Yeah, but here's what I'll say about Madam Web. All it can do is surprise me. That's all
Yes.
it can do. um See, some of you guys are talking in the chat to each other. That's awesome. Love to see it. Hey, we actually have Movie Dean in here. I hope that
There
he
we
got to see a
go.
shout out. But yeah, guys, Movie Dean, check him out. Super underrated. He says, can't stay and hang, but just wanted to say hi to two of my favorite voices in the movie YouTube. Keep rocking, fellas. Well, right back at you, man. I promise all that sweet stuff came before we even saw this comment. We did not look ahead. So.
He's a good dude.
Movie reviews with Ryan Lane says, I really enjoyed the Quiet Place movie, so I'm excited for day one. Nice, man. Have you seen that with T, one of our beloved channel members? What's going on, dude? Thanks for joining us. He's
What's
saying
up,
hey.
T?
Let's see here. Toxic Gamer saying, do you guys think they should make a follow up to Wonka with Timothy Chalamet returning? Oh, they will. Absolutely, they will. That movie did that cross 600 million? I think it got close
I think it got
worldwide.
close.
Yeah, and I don't think they were expecting it to get that. I wasn't expecting it to get that high. So,
Mhm.
and I also was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it. So, I'd be down for a second one. Let's see here. What else we got? We have got Enviro Earth 2 saying, do you guys have any story ideas for the Polar Express 2? Maybe they could make the kid the new train conductor. Yeah, I saw that they were doing Polar Express 2, and I was kind of like, why? I don't know. Is the Polar Express something you hold in high regard during the Christmas season?
So weirdly enough, it's flipped for me. Like I grew
Mm,
up really enjoying being read the book, but I don't know. I don't have too much of a soft spot for the movie itself. Um, Yeah, like my Christmas traditions. I mean, I haven't seen the Polar Express movie in like years and years and years. So that should tell you
Yeah,
everything you need to know. That's
yeah.
not a Christmas staple for me.
See, I don't think it is for many people. Like, I hadn't seen it for quite some time, and then this past Christmas, my sister's boyfriend it's like his favorite Christmas movie. So we watched it for Christmas, and I watched it, and it's not bad.
Yeah,
Like, it's enjoyable while it's on, but it's not one that really sticks with me. It's not one that like, yeah, I'm not excited for a sequel. Let's put it that way.
I
But
forget that like for some reason. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time. Isn't for like some reason Tom Hanks is like everybody?
he plays a lot of characters. He
It's like
plays
everybody. It's like the Nutty
Yeah.
Professor.
He's the conductor, he's the homeless guy, I'm pretty sure he's Santa, he's the narrator, I think.
He's a
Yeah, he's a
lot of
lot of
people
people.
in that.
He's a lot of people. We got we got DJ. DJ's Family of Nerds. Sorry, this has been rebranded recently. He's just member for 6 months, dude. One of
Woo!
my first members, and you 6 months, dude. Thank you so much for your support for that long on that level. And you also sent in a super chat, dude. That's way too generous. Thank you so much, man. He says, Madam Web may be the first comic book film I skipped theatrically in over 15 years. Have a
Man,
great stream, bud. Dude, I want you to see it because I need that parody. Have you seen his channel?
I have seen his songs. Yeah, they're great.
Dude, I think what DJ is doing over on his channel is one of the most creative things in the movie space in quite some time that I've seen. And I think they're really well done too.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to a Madam Web parody song. But if we don't get it, man, I understand. We also got the Ace Avenue, one of our beloved channel members. He gifted a channel membership. Well, that was very nice of you, man. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that. And
How
I
do those
appreciate you being a
even
member.
how do those even work? Do you just like pick someone
You
or
know, they're just random. I've looked
Oh,
into this a little bit
interesting.
because I'm not sure how people do it.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah, I
trying
have
to like,
no idea.
yeah, I was trying to look into this with YouTube, and YouTube, I don't know. Do you have channel memberships
I
on?
don't currently know.
Okay, yeah. YouTube is very, I feel like they really need to update their channel memberships and more information on them. I feel like it's very vague, and
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that I'm asking about, they don't have answers for.
Yeah.
So, I'm not quite sure how the gifting works. I know that the members can do it in the chat. They tell
Mhm.
me that I can do it too, but I've never been able to figure out how. But yeah, it just goes to a random viewer, which
There you
it's
go.
pretty
That's
awesome.
cool.
Let's see here. We got who we have? We got Toxic Gamer. He's saying, I think with Matt Reeves at the helm, he could possibly do Man Bat because he's not a highly
Yes.
known Batman villain like Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Two-Face, and such and such. I mean, I until you described what Man Bat was, I totally forgot that I even seen an image of that before. So I don't think he's a very well known character, and I think general audiences, if they want something new, especially in a Batman movie, that could be something new.
I do worry that people would think it's a joke though, since it's literally just like Batman backwards, kinda. Like it's Man
Kind
Bat, the
of.
Batman, but it's a cool villain.
Yeah, that's a good point. Some people wouldn't even bother looking to the comic origins and just be like, "Oh, that's kind of lazy."
Yeah.
Nathan Chad Movie says he did a ranking of all the Matthew Vaughn films and asking if how would we rank them. Have you seen all of them? Because I have not seen all of
I'm
them.
gonna pull them up.
Yeah,
Um, there's no way I've seen all of them, I don't think. Maybe
yeah,
pretty
no.
close. Okay. I'm pulling his stuff up.
Movie reviews with Brian Lane says Frozen 3, another addition to the rotation of movies my nieces and nephews watch. Yeah, man, that Frozen stuff is like catnip to these kids. I can't believe that first one is over 10 years old. Every time I think about that, that boggles my mind.
Can I blow your mind for a second here?
Yeah.
But I need to make sure that you're not gonna kick me out of the stream once I tell you this.
All right,
My
you have my
blind
word.
my blind spot is that I haven't seen any Frozens or Moana.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
No,
it's like
that's not worth kicking you out of the
okay.
chat for. That's fine. That's
All right.
acceptable. I thought you were gonna say like Back to the Future is a piece of garbage or something.
What is it? Back to the what?
Back to the Future.
I'm just kidding. I've seen
That's
it,
my.
obviously.
That's my. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, great movie. Do you
That's my
like
favorite
okay,
movie.
hold on, tangent for a sec. Are you like highly passionate about 1/2?
Not highly, no. I like a lot of 2. I like
Yeah.
a lot of two's concepts. I
Mhm.
love the alternate 1985. I love, Evil Biff and his casinos. I
Yes.
love all of that. I'm not even that upset that they go back into the first movie because I like the different angles and the different perspectives
Oh,
that it
yeah.
gives. I think it's really cool. I especially when I first watched it, like, when I was, like, 13 years old, I'd never seen a movie like that before,
Mhm.
and I thought it was just mind-blowingly awesome. I think now that we're past 2015, some of the future stuff is now it's weird how after you pass the threshold, it now feels just super corny to me,
Right. No,
whereas
I get
before it
that.
didn't.
That's why movies have to say, like, it's year, like, 10,000. Like, we won't even get
Yeah,
close. Um,
exactly.
did you ever see the, must have been, like, the 30th or 40th anniversary or 30th anniversary or something like that. Did you ever see the Nike shoes that where they came out with the real Nike shoes from part
Yes,
2
I
with, like, the
did.
self-lacing shoes?
I wanted
Like,
them so bad.
it was like I wanted them so bad, but I also would never leave the house in them because,
Oh,
like,
yeah, no, you can't scuff
they
those
need to
up.
be, like they have to be in one of those glass boxes behind you.
Yes, that's exactly where they
Yeah,
would be,
that'd be
and if I
perfect.
had money at the time, that's where they would have been.
They're probably, like, $10,000 now.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even bear to look. I think
Yeah.
I would cry. Uh, and Fire Earth 2 says, "I wonder if they will make Robotnik fat this time." Yep, fat suit, hopefully. It's very possible. That's something that Sully brought up too. Let's see here. We got Aaron Austin saying Sonic 3 will be sick. We got have you seen that with T saying I'm excited for Sonic 3 and Jim Carrey coming back. Movie reviews with Ryan Lane saying the Sonic movies have never wowed me, but Carrie as Robotnik was the best part. So Carrie in the third movie has me intrigued. See, I think that's why it's smart that they're bringing him back because you got
Mhm.
people like me and Ryan that like just now we're intrigued a little bit more to
Yeah.
see the movie because I honestly wasn't. We got old Maddie saying stoked for Sonic 3. One was solid, two was okay, and yes, fat suit Jim Carrey, please. Um, Let's see here. The whole laser saying Tails is Sonic's friends and has two punching has his tail.
Not wrong.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. That's really funny. We got Michael 101591 joining us. What's going on, dude? Thanks for joining us. Let's see here. We're getting into the buyer sells a little bit here. Have you seen that with Tia saying Vision makes sense, Hawkeye makes sense, but Thanos does not? Yeah, I think we agree
Mhm.
completely on that. Dakota Man movies saying Thanos only makes sense for what if episode, Secret Wars, or a flashback in Eternals 2, or whenever we see Harry Styles' character again because he's the brother of Thanos. That I guess that is true. I didn't really take that into consideration. Is well, I don't know because I know that that is in the comics, but does it work for the Thanos that they set up cinematically in the universe to have him interact with Harry Styles' character and stuff? Like, how young do you want? Like, I don't want to see a 16-year-old Thanos. I don't care to see teenage Thanos.
I'll just say one thing
Yeah,
is because you're kind of just almost accidentally bringing it up. I will say I don't want to see Teenage Thanos, but there's a wicked cool storyline. Have you ever heard of Cosmic Ghost Rider?
no.
There's a wicked cool storyline where Ghost Rider goes back in time to execute Thanos as a baby, so none of this stuff will happen later on. But
Mm.
he kind of takes a liking to him. So like, there's a
Oh,
whole crazy comic of like Ghost Rider in like a pimped out astronaut suit with like a baby Bjorn with a tiny Thanos on his chest the entire time, and it's very cool. I'll just say that.
all right. I
You
would
would
like to
go
see
see
that with
that movie.
Deadpool. I would see that with like
Oh
a
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
Deadpool.
yeah.
I could see that being like that would be fun. All right, I'm not saying I can't be bought over. I just I just don't see it at the moment, but that's inching
Okay.
closer,
Yeah.
definitely. Enviro 2 says three examples of mediocre average sequels are Batman vs Superman, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Doctor Strange 2. I disagree with Batman vs Superman because I don't like it all that much, but I think that it was ambitious for what they were trying to do with it. That I don't think that that one's as mediocre as the other two. I can agree with the other two for being mediocre and average, but I think Batman vs Superman was trying just to do something a little bit more than the other two were. What do you think of those?
Well, I think you're right. Like, wasn't that one pretty ambitious too? Because that was that was just like when they threw in Affleck into the deep end as Batman, right? Like that was his first appearance.
Yeah.
So
Which
it's
I
like,
excellent, excellent introduction though. When he's
mhm.
running through the streets of Metropolis at the perspective of the end of
Oh
Man of
yeah,
Steel, I love that. That's one of my
yeah.
favorite, probably my favorite character introductions in
That was a great
comic book
shot of
movie.
him running into the dust.
Oh my goodness, the laser when Thanos becomes a TikToker and twerks. That's why Avengers made 2 billion. Oh man, yeah. When I think it was Infinity War was coming out, there was some really weird art of Thanos. I'll put it that way. Some weird art of Thanos on the internet that was just terrifying to see. I'm not
Yes.
gonna say any more than that. If you know, you know. If you
Yeah.
lived it, if you were there,
If
you
you're
know.
brave, you can still find it.
Envirus 2 says Sully's dreams could play Green Arrow. He's got the look. I
Oh
agree with
hell
that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So, funny story about that actually. When I was living in New York for a little bit during college, it was actually really funny. Like I was at NYU for a bit. I somehow got into this like their crazy Tish acting program over the summer. So it was like and it was like a big deal. Like Miles Teller went there, like
Oh wow.
Beanie Feldstein went there, like it was insane, right? I had no business being there. I was the only non NYU person. Like, I don't even know how they let me in, but it was a great experience. I got to live in New York. I was doing a bunch of acting stuff. It was great. But
Wow.
funny enough, even though I think he's way taller than me, every time I'd be like someone would visit me and I'd be picking them up from the New York City airport, multiple times I was stopped and people thought I was Stephen Amell. Like, I'm not even kidding. And then I'd have to be like, no, but I should have embraced it. Like, I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, you should
Looking
have just
back on
bought
it.
a Green Arrow costume and just like
Like, because I was just thinking about it, like, it was a total wasted opportunity because I know that eventually, maybe it would never come up, but even if like a decade later it was circulated on Twitter where a guy was like, "Yeah, I met like Stephen Amell and took a picture with him at the New York airport," and it was me, like my head would have exploded.
just play the long game for that. Yeah.
Seriously, it would be
That
worth it.
you know what, dude? I don't think you've missed your opportunity. I think
Think
if you go back to that airport, I think you
I
could
might.
get a couple more
Now that's gonna be
more
like I'm gonna
selfies.
be like Uncle Rico, Napoleon Dynamite. Like I'm gonna go back there and just like hoping someone asks me. This is my life's curse now.
That's awesome. Nathan's Random Movies is saying, "Did you guys hear that Carl Weathers passed away? My dad just hit me with that as soon as he picked me up from watching Argyle." Yeah, uh, that was Tuesday, right? Carl Weathers passed away on, I believe it
I think
was
so.
Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna act. Here's something a little bit funny. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit morbid now, but it's a little bit funny. Until I saw Carl Weathers show up in Mandalorian, I had a Mandela effect. I thought he was dead. Like when he popped up when in like season 2 or maybe it was the first season, I had to take like to Google to look up if that was him playing because I was like so positive he was dead. And I was so confused why he was here. And then I realized I thought he was dead because I had binged the Rocky series and Apollo dies in 4. And then for the rest of the series and into Creed, they have pictures up of him
Yeah, just
in
like in
memoriam.
memoriam. Yeah.
Yes. So I associated that with the actor actually being dead.
Hey, you're a
So
passionate viewer. You shouldn't apologize for that. When you get into it, you get into it.
yeah, all this to say, I was not the number one Carl Weathers fan. I'm not gonna act like his passing away has affected me very much, but I will say I enjoyed the man's work. He had a bunch of dedicated fans out there. He was obviously beloved for a reason, and yeah, it's disappointing and it's sad. And my condolences to his friends and family out there who knew him personally. I'm sure that it's because I think it was unexpected too. I think I read that it was an unexpected death. So those are always yeah. RIP to him. But what about you? Do you have more of a history watching Carl Weathers? Did his death impact you more than me?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it really impacted me in any way, but like I definitely acknowledge that he was in some awesome like 80s movies. And,
Mhm.
I feel like there's an unspoken or not even unspoken debate of like, You either grow up as like, if you're a big movie watcher, you either grow up as like a Stallone guy or a Schwarzenegger guy.
Right.
And I was full on Schwarzenegger. Like you can't even see off screen. I just have like the huge Terminator poster. But for a little while there in the 80s, wherever Schwarzenegger was, Carl Weathers was pretty close by, like in Predator, and um,
Oh
even
yeah.
though even though he had a history with Stallone, obviously as well, a much bigger history with Stallone as well. But loved seeing him pop up in like all of those 80s action flicks. And if people haven't seen it, he is hysterical in his bit role in Arrested Development. Like I didn't know he had that kind of funny bone in him. He is awesome in that show. Like in stitches, watching some of his scenes that people were posting after he passed.
I've never seen that show, but it's always been on like my watch list of like TV shows
Really
people tell me
funny.
to watch. So I
Just
gotta get on that.
ignore the final season that was made by Netflix. That doesn't exist.
Oh, that's disappointing. Every time someone says it's gonna end terribly,
Well, it's just
I'm
well,
gonna go on this journey and it's just gonna end horribly.
it ends fantastically
Okay.
if you ignore the Netflix
If
season.
you ignore the
Don't
actual
don't
ending.
do that. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, maybe we'll see if I get around to it. I'm still digesting a whole bunch of Godzilla movies
Oh
and
my god, I forgot
yeah.
you were doing that actually.
Yeah.
Are you close or
No, I'm not close. I'm
aren't there like
dude,
60 of them or something?
I've counted like of like the official theatrical ones is
Yes.
like 37.
Oh
I'm
my god.
not watching like these animated ones or the ones
Right.
these
You have to
series
have
on
you have to
Netflix.
draw a line in the sand.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta have boundaries. But I tell you, dude, like I had it planned out until April 26th, and then they moved that freaking release date up to
Yeah.
March 9th. And now I'm just like, crap, my timeline of how
There
I was
goes
gonna
a
watch
month.
these are all yeah. So honestly, I'm hoping I can get through them
So
all.
you're gonna put out a mega video of ranking all 37 of them.
That's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan because when I did a Godzilla video last year, which was just like a little clip from the trailer reaction and the Godzilla -1 review, those videos did really well.
People love Godzilla.
Yeah. So I'm trying to build off that
No,
with
I think that's a great
even
idea.
bigger.
Like you're much more ambitious than me. Like if I do anything like that, I could see myself maybe ranking the MonsterVerse movies. Like you're going, you know, up and above with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot there.
The plan was to add the Kong movies in as well, but I'm thinking I'm gonna cut them out just to make that timeline easier for me because they were also built into my schedule. But yeah,
Oh, that would be a really good video with Kong
I
too.
know.
That'd be a really good. I mean,
I'm
you're gonna have to take some PTO.
yeah, yeah. I we'll see. We'll see. There's still a chance. It
Let
could
me
happen.
just put this. This is just like I need to put this shameless plug out there whenever it comes up, and this has somehow come up. Please tell me
Absolutely.
you've seen the Peter Jackson King Kong.
Oh yeah,
I
I've
think
seen
that's
that.
like a masterpiece. Like that's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I really think
Wow.
it's kind of like underrated. I know people like it, but I think people should love it. In that like bug sequence, still gives me nightmares.
I think it's incredibly well done. Absolutely. I do the pacing does get to me though. I
I'm soaking in all of it. I don't even
all of it.
care. Yeah, I will say I think Peter Jackson's like one of the best filmmakers on the planet that puts out stuff with like CGI that is so well done, has so much care that like it his movies will always look better than like whatever current blockbuster comes out this year for me. I think like the Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
movies, that King Kong movie, the CGI is perfect. Like it's exactly what it should be in those movies.
There is amazing imagery and
Oh yeah.
visuals in that Kong movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely don't love it as much as you, but I enjoy it quite a bit. I do.
Yeah, it's a good
I got
movie.
you know what? It's part of the rewatch.
Yeah.
If I get to it, I'll get to it. And I haven't seen it in a couple years, so maybe it'll grow for me. Because I think the last time I watched it was like when Kong Skull Island was coming out, that was
Mhm.
2017, something
Which I
like
was
that.
very disappointed by because
Yeah.
of how highly regarded the other one is for me, but
Yeah, fair enough, man. But yeah, I'm definitely it's on the watch list. Hopefully I get around to it. I want to give a shout out because Nathan reached 240 subscribers today. So congratulations, Nathan. That is awesome.
let's go.
Let's see here. Let's see. We've got Wow, you guys are really killing it in this chat. I'm just looking for some. Oh, here's one. Nathan John Movies is asking, are you guys going to be watching Bob Marley? Do you have plans to see that one?
Not really. Like my dad is a big Bob Marley fan. Um, I saw they were doing like an early like public screening. I think like next Monday, maybe. Um, but I don't really have plans to watch it. I don't think. We'll see.
Mm.
But I'm not like dying to get out to the theater to see it.
Yeah, no, fair. I mean, I don't know anything about Bob Marley, really. Like the songs that played in the trailer, I was like, "Oh, that was him. Oh, that's cool." Which that happens with every musical biopic. Like music is just so not my thing. I'm just
Yeah.
not that deep into it. Like even Bohemian Rhapsody, when that came out, that was my first time like really hearing Queen songs and knowing they were Queen songs.
Hmm.
The song, what was it? Little thing called Love, something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
I thought that was an Elvis song
Yeah.
for like the longest time, and then they played it in Bohemian Rhapsody, and I was like, "Oh, this is theirs." That happens every time. The Ace Avenue also sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. That's so nice of you, and you're a beloved channel member. I can't believe that. He says, "You guys excited about ATLA dropping on Netflix?" ATLA. Do you know
Oh,
what
Zach,
that
I
is?
got you. Come on.
Okay, you take
Avatar:
this
The
away.
Last Airbender.
Oh, okay.
So I'll say cautiously excited. I think that the live action anime adaptations are traditionally awful. Let's not mince words here, but they really surprised me with One Piece. I thought the One Piece one was really fun. Zach, did you ever watch that one?
Okay, here's the thing.
Oh no.
A lot of times, if
Hmm.
I'm going to watch something,
Hmm.
especially a series, my wife has to be into it. She got 2 minutes,
Oh no.
2 minutes into the show, and just didn't
That was
work for her.
that.
So
Yeah.
we had to watch something else that night. So I just never was able to get back to it. I liked the 2 minutes that I saw.
Well, that's just as good as
I
watching
thought
the
it
whole
was
thing.
great.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, so do watch that if you get the chance because it is awesome.
Yeah.
But every other anime adaptation in live action has been pretty awful. So I'll say I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. I'm doing a rewatch of the actual show right now to like get ready for it, but um yeah, I don't know. Like I want it to be really good, obviously, but I just don't
Yeah.
know.
Like that it actually brings up an interesting conversation that I've actually never talked about with someone on YouTube before, but like it's kind of funny because YouTube requires sacrifices with
Yeah.
like just like what you're going to spend your time on. And I find it kind of ironic. I don't know if this is the same for you, but like I'm a movie channel show. I like to do reviews of movies and talk about movies and make videos surrounding movies. And in order to do that, I have to take time away from watching movies and watching TV shows so that I can make the videos.
Yes.
And I always find that so ironic. Like, yes, I could sit down and watch whatever it is, 10 hours of I already forgot the name.
You're really upsetting me right now.
The what was it
Come
called?
on. One
The
Piece.
One Piece. I was gonna say One Arm. One
One
Piece.
arm, yeah.
The One Arm, yeah. No, One Piece. I could sit down and watch 10 hours of One Piece,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I'm just addicted or obsessed or whatever. I just like would rather be working on a video that I have planned or
Well, I mean,
something,
I
you
think
know?
that's fair. I've only
Yeah.
covered like 3 or 4 shows in the entirety of my channel. Like I kind
Yeah.
of always said I was going to just do movies because if you think about it too, like you're saying from an efficiency standpoint, is it quicker if I sit there and watch 10 hours of content and then film a review for it or if I watch one thing of 2 hours that's a
Yeah.
movie and I can film something about it. So, from a unfortunately from an efficiency standpoint, that's why I do movies. I'm also just a movie over TV guy in general, but
I'm the same. Yeah.
yeah.
But I also got to think too about like the audience, right? Like who's going to be
Yes.
clicking on this video? Fans of One Piece. I
Yes.
know nothing about One Piece. So
That's
I'm
like
like
I
I'm not going to have
my
anything.
my One Piece review is like my highest viewed video ever. So
Yeah.
it's like I was telling my buddy who was like, I never read the manga or actually watched the anime for One Piece, even though I've watched a lot of other animes. I just never did One Piece because it's kind of daunting. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like the anime is up to like 1,300 episodes now.
Forget
Like,
about it.
exactly, yeah, exactly. Like, it would take you like on multiple years, and so I thought it was kind of daunting. But then my buddy who loves it was like, "Trust me, people go crazy for this stuff," and I was like, "All right." And then it became like my highest viewed video. I was like, "Dude, like this is crazy."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. What's the views at, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it's at like 14K, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice,
that's
dude.
a
Well
good
done.
one.
You're I'm gonna Fincher. Your Fincher ranking
Oh
did
yeah,
really
yeah,
well
yeah.
too. That one took off.
Those ones always do really well, but the ranking videos, I'm not gonna lie, like I lose a little part of my soul every time because they take so long.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sitting there and I'm like, how do I condense my thoughts about like 12 movies to like a couple sentences per, like a paragraph per movie, and then moving on? Because I like realistically, you see us do our reviews, like we could talk like 10 minutes if we wanted to about just one of them. So I'm like,
Yeah.
keep it concise. But yeah, no, those always do well, but they're all the hardest ones to make.
Yeah, they're a lot of work. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've only started really getting into doing ranking videos. I
Yeah.
enjoy them,
Me
but
too.
they are a lot of work.
They're tough.
Let's see here. We got, oh my goodness. Toxic Gamer is saying, I think definitely Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 will be better than the first one, but the real question is by how much. Did you bother seeing Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey?
For better or worse, I've seen it.
Are you
Have
excited
you?
for the sequel? No, I'm not touching those 10 foot
It's
pole.
very bad. But I do think, like, just from being realistic about it, there is no way that this second one could be worse than the first one. So I think it has to be better. I didn't see the trailer myself yet, but I've heard from people that I trust and also that hate that first movie that it looks like they actually had some money to play with and it actually looks better. But I don't know.
Well, like Madam Web, all Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 can do is surprise me.
Yes. Yes.
The laser is saying, did you know that Matt Damon will be in If and will play a character with a flower face? Cinema. I did not know that, but I'm now looking forward to
I
that.
like it. I just didn't know it.
Nathan's Movies is asking, how would you rank the Rocky opponents, or what are your favorites? Well, I definitely can't rank them. I like the Mr. T in Rocky 3. I always enjoy that. I enjoy Rocky 3 a lot. I don't know how the Rocky fandom is with all the movies. Like, obviously, like Drago is a classic. Love Drago.
Mhm.
But Rocky 3 is like one of my favorite Rocky films.
I'm so like I'm wallpaper with this stuff. Like I'm just gonna say Drago. Like it's the
Yeah.
obvious pick, but I mean, it's like obviously it's just a cool story with like the American guy out training in the wilderness versus like the Russian guy that's been engineered in a lab, training the perfect way and still finding a way to beat him. Like it's just a good classic underdog villain story.
Yeah, and in the Cold War and everything, it's a
Yes.
great, great piece of cinema.
Yes.
The Ace Avenue says, as far as Batman villains, I want to see Clayface as a side villain in a movie. Would be dope. We have the CGI to make it look good, make it happen. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Absolutely. Let's see here. DJ is saying, wasn't he introduced as Thanos' brother in that post-credit scene? Yes, he was, but I don't know that we need to see, like, what would a flashback be, like them fighting war together, or I don't know. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just not at this moment in time not interested in seeing it, to be
Me
honest
either.
with
It would be like one of them breaks a window at their house and they have to like tell their parents, like brother stuff, like little brother stuff. I don't know. I don't think
That's your next Disney Plus series.
literally.
Little Thanos.
Little thing. Just wait for the team up with young Sheldon.
I'd be down for it. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think we're realistically going to see Harry Styles back in the MCU? Like, do we? I don't know.
I don't know.
Him and Hercules, man. I don't know if we're ever going to
I
see that.
think Hercules is toast. I don't think we're ever seeing Hercules. I think we might see Harry Styles just because I think it's been joked about so much that we won't. So I think that they're gonna buy like he's gonna like he'll show up in some capacity, I think. Will he be in anything for more than like a scene? I doubt it, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean,
No,
I don't
for
know if
sure.
they actually do give us Eternals too. I'm sure he'll be in that. But
Yeah, we'll see what they do. I mean, I'd be down for it. I'm not gonna diss on Harry Styles. I'm a fan of his.
Yeah.
We'll go with this one, and then we'll go on to topic 3 and 4. We got Nathan's Better Movies asking, what are some movies that you guys think should be remade and rebooted? Do you have one that comes to mind?
I'm gonna go to the internet and see if anything sparks my imagination here. But I
I
usually
think,
am arguing the opposite, so I'll have to think of
yeah,
one here.
that's fair. I'm trying to think of one that like technology would benefit it. I'd be down for another Face Off.
Ooh, I would
I
do
think if
that.
I think if you got who are some actors right now who are kind of like the playoff of each other that you could do for Face Off
All right,
today.
hear me out.
All right, I'm ready.
Not like these are big box office draws, but like they look similar enough, and they've done action in the past. Give me a Face Off remake with Alexander Skarsgård and Joel Kinnaman.
Mm,
I would do that.
that has potential. I could see that.
But on the other hand, never remake any movie that Cage was in, because that means the performance was already the best that it could have been.
Ah, okay, there you go. Fair enough. No, I like Face Off, but I do think there's room for improvement. To be honest, I don't think
Fine.
it's great.
I think it's great.
Yeah, that one pops into my mind. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like you. Like sometimes I don't want remakes and remake. Like unless it's like a really horrible movie where it's like wasted potential. Like, oh, I had one and then I just lost it. There was Pixels. Like I thought Pixels was such a cool concept, and then it just was like this horrible Adam Sandler farce. Like
Yeah.
remake Pixels.
I can guarantee you no one's asking for them to remake Pixels, so I like this campaign. You're going to start it.
Remake Pixels. Hashtag remake Pixels. That's the hill I will die on. We got Jacob Hubbard in here saying King Kong 2005 is a damn awesome movie. I remember seeing that in the
Yes.
theaters back in the day. I agree. 2005 King Kong is the GOAT. There you go. You got
I can always count on Jacob.
Yeah, he's great. Another channel you guys should check out if you haven't yet. Daily Reacts TV, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us. He says, how you guys doing today? I just got finished editing my top 10 favorite video games. Awesome, dude. We'll have to check that out. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break now, and we're going to go back to our topics. We got topic 3, and this is what this is all about. So, it kind of came as a shock to the world. Couple weeks back, Jurassic World 4. They're fast tracking this thing. They already got a writer. They're deep into the script. The original writer from the original film is coming back to write this one, and they want to get this thing out by 2025. And that is ambitious for a movie usually of this size and scale. And according to Deadline, the person they are looking to bring this new Jurassic vision to life is none other than David Leitch. Here's what Deadline had to say about this. After recently tapping David Koepp to pen the script, Universal Pictures' new Jurassic World is in early talks with David Leitch to direct the next film in the billion-dollar franchise. The film is set to come out on July 2nd, 2025. The new movie will be a completely fresh take on the Jurassic era, with Jurassic World cast members Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard not expected to return, nor the original trilogy's Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, or Sam Neill. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with David Leitch's name right off the bat, I can guarantee you've probably seen his work, because some of his credits include Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, Hobbs and Shaw, and John Wick. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen John Wick. if you haven't, watch John Wick and Deadpool 2. But bottom line, I think David Leitch is a pretty fun action director. I've enjoyed majority of his work that I've seen. He's an interesting choice for Jurassic World right off the bat when you think about it, because his movies, his filmography up to this point, aside from maybe Hobbs and Shaw and maybe Deadpool 2, they're usually lower scaled, smaller action with John Wick and Atomic Blonde in there. And even a little bit Deadpool 2 is not as big as most comic book movies get. So he's not the first person I would think of off the bat to bring to Jurassic World. The fact that they're thinking of him for Jurassic World gets me interested because, as we talked about a couple weeks back when we were talking about Jurassic World 4 and them doing a new one of the things that was kind of brought up in the discussion was make this a small scaled story. Make this a quiet place with dinosaurs. Like I mentioned before when we talked about Jurassic World 4 being announced, the battle at Bedrock short that they put out on YouTube, where it was just a family camping and then a T-Rex came and destroyed their campsite. That was a thrilling, that was a fun, suspenseful little short that I was hoping we'd get more of in Dominion. And then Dominion just, I don't know. So, how do you feel about Dominion?
Well, first off, I think it's the first time hearing about this short. That sounds like something I want to
You
watch.
haven't seen the
I don't think
Jurassic,
I've seen this.
dude? You honestly, okay, you've got to check that
What
short
is it
out.
called? The Battle of what?
Battle at Bedrock, I believe is what it's called.
Battle at Bedrock.
I always get a little confused because I think of the Flintstones when I hear
Yeah.
Bedrock, but
Battle at Big Rock.
Big Rock. Okay.
Okay, I'll
So
make
yeah,
sure to
I get
watch
confused with Flintstones. Yeah. Battle at Big
it.
Rock.
So obviously, just because I'm a sub 30-year-old guy that loves movies, obviously love Jurassic Park.
Yep.
I was like a weird dino kid growing up. Um, I like a lot of the movies, not really the ones in the world part of the franchise, but when we go to Jurassic Park, I love the first movie. I love Jurassic Park 3, which is ones that a lot of people don't like, but
I enjoy it.
I think it's a great 90-minute dino rip. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. It's like a search and
Completely agree.
rescue. Yeah, it's great. Um, First Jurassic World is solid, but I also think it's part of the curse of like whenever they resurrect these franchises, like the
Mhm.
same way that I didn't mind The Force Awakens. Like it was like, okay, we're returning back to like good movies in this franchise. And then they kind of lost me. I will say the second movie, Fallen Kingdom, I did like that. Like they took a cool creative swing with there being like a black market for dinosaurs. Like I kind of dug that a little bit.
It was a guilty
Um,
pleasure.
yeah, I liked that. The third one is pretty bad, but
We agree. Okay.
did you say I just missed this already in the quote you said? Did you say none of the actors are supposed to come back, right?
They're not expected to. None of
Um,
the actors, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, the originals, not expected to come back.
I think this is too soon to keep going with this franchise, but I do think if you were going to do it, you should clean house, like whole
Mhm.
new setup, storyline, actors, and everything. I really like David Leitch. I think he's pretty good at handling big scale stuff. Obviously, in the action centric world, one of the movies you didn't mention, his most recent one, Bullet Train, I enjoyed a lot.
Yep, Bullet Train.
And that proved there's a lot of storylines. Obviously, that might have been the weakest part, but there was a lot of storylines being balanced there. The action was really cool, filmed in a good way. Hobbs and Shaw is a big guilty pleasure for me. I actually would rank it decently highly. I think I do rank it decently highly in the Fast Saga franchise.
Would you agree that's probably his biggest scaled movie to date? Because I feel like for the most part, his filmography consists of pretty lower scaled movies,
I have
pretty
to
grounded.
imagine that one probably came with the biggest budget.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I would rather watch Deadpool 2 again instead of that, but like you said, Deadpool 2, even though we love him as, like, a big superhero character, those movies don't cost a lot probably up until this 3rd installment.
Yeah, it probably has the biggest budget for this third one, especially
Yeah.
bringing Hugh Jackman back.
Yeah, that's probably half the budget.
Yeah. But one of the things I do get intrigued by this choice of director is, to me, this may signal that they are going to go lower scaled. I mean, when you look at, they already are deep into the script. They already want to get this out by 2025. I imagine they are going to cut the budget. I imagine they are going to make it smaller, probably scale down some of the dinosaurs. I would love it if this Jurassic World focused on the actual Jurassic World part of Jurassic World that they set up and then totally butchered in Dominion. But if you get like a pocket of the world, just some characters dealing with the dinosaur situation, I think that brings the franchise back to basics, back to its roots. You cut the budget, it's not so overbloated with CGI. I think that's their best bet of getting it out in 2025. And I feel like with this director, that may be the approach they're going with. What do you think about that?
Well, I think more and more what you're saying, which I love, is that we just want another Jurassic Park 3. Like, scale it down. Like, it's just around this one little event. It's not about the massive park opening. Like, if you wanted to, like, almost remake 3 with cool characters and just, like, a dinosaur they haven't featured before that's a predator that's kinda just, like, hunting them the whole movie while they try to do this task, like, I'd be there day 1. I'll be there day 1, unfortunately, for anything they decide, but,
Yeah.
um, if you give me, like, a small scale thing, I think that'd be really cool. Like, I, as a movie fan, have been asking for that kind of setup more and more with these big franchises because I don't remember. Are you a horror guy at all? Or do you not really?
Um, it's not my forte,
Yeah.
but if there's a good one out there, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
So I'm a massive fan of the Alien franchise. Like the first Alien movie, I think is like other than John Carpenter's The Thing, I think the first Alien movie is my favorite horror movie ever. And
I do love those movies. Yes.
yeah, they're great. And so they're doing the correct move that I hope Jurassic World does going forward, where they're getting that guy Fede Alvarez who did that incredible 2013 version of Evil Dead, where they have a small
Right.
budget and it seems like it's going to be going back to the roots of the first Alien movie, where it's like it's isolation, it's claustrophobic, it's not this big global universe spanning journey and like explaining where the xenomorphs came from. Like, I don't care. I just want to see them run away from it and it try to like rip them up, you know? And like I think if you kind of bring that strategy that they're smartly implementing there to Jurassic World, I think that they would be met with surprising results, especially too if it's all a numbers game to them. People are going to get butts and seats for a Jurassic Park related movie anyway. So if they put out a movie that's like $50 million, it'll like 10x its budget.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point as well, and I agree with all those points. And I think if you look, the Jurassic World movies, they just went so big with
Yes.
everything. I mean, with the very first concept of the first film of what would it look like if the park actually opened. Huge concept in and of itself. Then you get to the second one where it's like the island's being destroyed, they got to save the dinosaurs, and you had all these dinosaurs on the island running, and then you put them in a mansion, like big budget, big, and then they went even bigger with Dominion. They're all over the world, and there's locusts too. Like they
God, the bugs.
I couldn't. I just can't with that movie. I'm sorry. But um if you scale it down, if you pray this thing, if you like Alien Romulus this thing, I feel like that is a way to keep the franchise fresh and unique. And if you want to get me more on board with the Jurassic World 4, this is what's really intriguing me with it.
Prey's a great example because it's like finding other avenues for that already existing franchise, showing us something different and something unique, and putting it in the hands of storytellers that clearly were passionate about those source materials. And like, I'm sure David Leitch is an action director. Jurassic Park had a lot of action in it. I'm sure that's one
Yep.
of his inspirations when he was, growing up as a young filmmaker. Um, yeah, I think if they go that route, I'll be a happy man. Like I said, for better or worse, I will be there day one anyway. But I really hope they do it the way we're talking about right now.
Well, what do you guys think? Are you guys going to be there day one if David Leitch directs this thing? Or are you just going to be there day one for Jurassic World 4 anyways? Comment down below and let us know all your thoughts and opinions about this, guys. And with that, let's move on to our final topic that we have scheduled for the night. And that final topic is this. The big game, guys. It's happening. It's this Sunday. I think it's called football. I'm not a sports person. Are you a sports person, Sully?
Massive, yeah. Well,
Massive. So,
I'm from Boston, so you had to be because it's like I
ah,
was so spoiled growing up. We've won like 11 championships in my time already.
oh,
So,
wow. Nice.
yeah,
So you're looking forward to the Super Bowl?
yeah. I'm not a huge fan of either team, but yes, I'm very much looking forward to Super Bowl. I do every year.
Cool. Well, I probably won't be watching the Super Bowl. It's just not something I usually do around this time. But you know what I will be doing is I'll be checking Twitter and seeing which one of those Super Bowl trailers has just dropped. And because the Super Bowl, as we all know, that is like one of the big early times of the movie going year. It's where the studios put in all this money to to show us trailers on TV that we're just going to end up watching on YouTube anyways. But Variety has put a list together of the movies that they think we can expect to see at the Super Bowl. Here's the list that they have put together. The trailers that Variety think are going to premiere at the Super Bowl are Deadpool 3, Inside Out 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, A Quiet Place Day 1, which already dropped the trailer, so wow wow. If, Bob Marley One Love, Wicked, The Fall Guy, Kung Fu Panda 4, and Twisters. Sully, you look at this list. What sticks out to you? What do you think is 100% guaranteed to be shown? What are you most looking forward to of that list? And is there a movie that is missing from that list that you think could drop a trailer at the Super Bowl?
I think Deadpool 3 is the most guaranteed and my most anticipated. It's hard not to have that as the choice.
Yeah.
Just because we're all looking to actually get like, everyone's seen the leaks and everyone's seen, them filming scenes and everything, but to actually get like movie production quality scenes of Jackman in this movie, which who knows how much they even give us. I'm sure they might even just give us like he might be the last second of the teaser during the Super Bowl at least. Maybe they
Just
will
that
release
shot of the claws coming out.
100%.
Yeah.
If they've got balls, it'll be like the middle finger claw, but I don't think they'll do that on the national stage. But yeah, it has to be that. I don't want Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes to get lost in the shuffle because of how excited I am about Deadpool 3, but I do think I'm really excited for that. I will say I think that's another franchise where I'm less worried about it. I was more worried about it when Jurassic World 4 was announced because I was like, I already thought they were rushing Planet of the Apes again. Like I was like, we just got that great trilogy, but now it's even shorter of a wait with Jurassic Park 4 or World 4. So I'm less worried about Planet of the Apes, even though it's just like an association thing. But I think we'll definitely get more of that. They've been pushing If a lot, so I can see there being a trailer for that as well. Because you got to get like the family friendly ones in there too. I'd have to think. I don't know what a surprise might be, like one that I'm not expecting or one that's not even on the radar right now. But there's definitely a couple dark horse picks.
Sorry, the wife just stepped into the room. Sorry, did you need something?
Where are the batteries?
I already put them in. I already switched them over.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just threw those in the garbage.
Okay, we'll get them out of the garbage. Sorry about that.
No.
Our remotes in the bedroom died, so I bought batteries today and switched them over, and I guess she just took them out and threw them in the garbage. Yeah, sorry. Love you.
So she threw out the brand new batteries.
She threw out the new batteries that I just put in the remotes. Yeah. Anyways, sorry about that little tangent. But yeah, no, actually, looking at this list, there are a couple actually that I do think are left off here. Because I would not be surprised if Mad Max Fury Road, or not Fury Road, oh crap, what's it called?
Yeah, if we get a full Furiosa trailer.
Furiosa, thank you. Yeah, Mad Max Furiosa. I think the Super Bowl's a great place to drop that.
A good idea.
And that movie, I think, comes out like even before Deadpool 3 and before some of the other movies on this list. So I could see them wanting to get that in front of people's eyes. Yeah. Godzilla X Kong, that's moved up to March 29th. I think the Super Bowl crowd is a crowd that would like to see monsters
They would
fight.
like that. They would
I
like
think
that.
That's a perfect spot to drop that trailer. I kind of have a little bit of optimism. We'll get our first look at Ballerina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the John Wick spinoff.
I want that, but I'm going to say that we're not. Because I don't know, like, everyone loves John Wick, but I'm wondering if that's big enough for the Super Bowl. I'm not sure. Because you usually just get, like, your big blockbuster popcorn movies that are going to be there. Like, John Wick has become that. Yeah. But I'm just assuming they're going to spend a similar low budget like the first couple on this Ballerina spinoff. I could be wrong. Maybe they are going whole hog on this, but
I think you have some very solid points there. But to counter argue those points, I think similar to Godzilla X Kong, I think the Super Bowl audience is an audience for a John Wick movie. And if you just pop Keanu Reeves in there, if Keanu Reeves John Wick does show up in Ballerina,
now you got me with
if he's there, eyeballs on this movie. Because Ballerina, like unless you've been following it like us, no one knows that's a John Wick spinoff.
Right.
No one has any idea what that is.
We don't have that confirmed that he's in that, right?
It's
Oh, wait, no, I think
basically
you're
been
right.
confirmed.
I think you're right. I think it came out saying that, like, he at least there is a scene where they
Yeah.
fight or something.
Because it's set between John Wick 3 and 4.
Mhm.
So,
You're
yeah.
right. They shouldn't even cut a trailer. Like, just show that one scene and then just say ballerina and then
Yeah, there you go. So sell all the tickets. As far as I mean, if I'm not like super excited for a new trailer of If, to be honest with you. I think Inside Out 2 could drop a banger of a trailer though. Like
Mhm.
I think Inside Out 2 has been a little bit overlooked because I mean, just that first teaser alone, where it's just the introduction to anxiety, there
Yeah.
was so much gold in those 30 seconds alone. And I mean, the Super Bowl, you do get a lot of families sitting around watching it together, and not everyone knows an Inside Out 2 is coming. You drop that trailer, get the kids excited. I think that could easily blow up YouTube. Fall Guy, I think, is like I kind of feel similar to how you felt about Ballerina for Fall Guy. I don't feel like that's one.
I'd rank that pretty low for
Yeah, I don't
popping
feel
up.
like that's one that you would want to pump these many millions of dollars into to show at the Super Bowl. Seems a bit odd to me. Twisters, I think, will definitely be in there. Kung Fu Panda, kind of similar to Inside Out 2.
Mhm.
Definitely Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Bob Marley's an interesting one because doesn't that come out like pretty
That's
soon?
too soon, I think.
Yeah, I
I
don't
would
know.
all I know is if I was the marketing guy, I don't think I would spend the money on a Super Bowl ad.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's just too much money. I don't
Yeah.
understand why you would drop it on that. Wicked's a good one
Mhm.
because Wicked. I mean, I've only heard rumblings about it because I follow the entertainment news, but there
Yeah.
hasn't really been big, high profile marketing for this movie. And it's got Ariana Grande in there. It's got
Mhm.
some big names. I think if you drop a banger trailer for Wicked, that could take over the Super Bowl. But yeah, you're right. It's Deadpool 3. I
Yes,
mean,
Deadpool.
Deadpool 3 is the one we're all waiting for. I'm still a little bit like, I'll believe it when I see it
Mhm.
because they just finished wrapping it up like only a
Yes.
couple weeks back. Now, it does have the added advantage that during the strikes, they had a chunk of most of the movie shot and they were editing and doing all this stuff to it during the strikes. And
Right.
that's why when they went back to shooting, the filming didn't take that much longer and they wrapped up pretty quickly. Could they put footage together from what they shot to make a trailer? They probably could, to be honest with you. They probably could. Is it a little early to drop it? Like I would have expected a trailer more so near the end of maybe middle end of March.
I mean, the movie's almost like 6 months out.
Yeah. And I don't know, like I feel like most studios their trailers have been dropping a little bit closer to the release date, a little bit more. But
Yeah.
then again, you also had A Quiet Place Day One just dropped their trailer, right? And that movie's still a number of months out. So
I will say the one reason I think like I'm like you, I'm like believe it when I see it, but I do think Deadpool offers a unique opportunity where the trailer or the TV spot they showed during the Super Bowl might not even be footage from the movie. Like I could see because it's like such a fourth wall
mm,
breaking character, I could see I wouldn't put it past Ryan Reynolds to film something specifically like a Super Bowl related football Deadpool ad. Um that maybe Wolverine's in it, maybe he's not, but I could see it being like something that's more of like a fun skit more than a trailer for the movie.
okay, that's interesting. Okay, so that's interesting because that would be like the kickoff to Deadpool's marketing campaign,
Yes.
which
Yeah,
is some of the best parts of when a Deadpool movie is coming out is the
100%.
marketing campaign. So it wouldn't necessarily be a trailer, but it would be the start of the marketing campaign nonetheless. That's interesting. Do you think that would tick off fans?
Mm, if they're sure that it's funny, no.
Yeah,
I think you make it topical, you make it him like in a football stadium or like on a football team, like doing stupid stuff. Um, I don't think anyone would be mad about getting any new Deadpool content.
very true. Yeah. I think we're all so like entitled to because like Disney hasn't come out and said we're getting a trailer. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, they've never come out and said that a trailer is dropping at Super Bowl. I don't even know the source of where
Yeah.
it came out that a Deadpool 3 trailer is supposed to come out at Super Bowl. It just started going all over Twitter, and Variety picked up on it. But there's like no credible person that I've seen has said that we're getting this trailer. And that's kind of why I feel believe it when I see it. Unless you've heard something. Did you hear?
Well, I'm just thinking more so of how to do this without ticking off fans, like you're saying. I
Right.
think if they do this and they film something independently, take like the least important low budget MCU character ever and put them in it too to like make people understand that hey, like this is a huge thing because Deadpool's joining the MCU and people would eat it up. Like make an MCU character on the other football team if he's like doing a skit, like whatever, and that would be gold.
Deadpool's
But
just hanging out with Darcy.
there you go. That would work. That would work. Or like Howard the Duck from the little bit that he's in Guardians.
I
But
feel like that would lose audiences. I don't feel like they would
maybe you're
connect
right.
that to the
I feel-
MCU.
I'm a rare breed that enjoys Howard the Duck, but
That's the thing too. Like, if you want to get into the general audience's eyes and say Deadpool is in the
right,
MCU,
it would have to be a huge character.
yeah, you can't do a little like you can't even do like I think Pepper Potts even would be like little.
He'd literally have to be with Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man, maybe
Yeah.
Hulk, maybe like he did that trailer reaction with Korg on YouTube. Remember when they dropped that?
Right.
Maybe
Korg should
even
have stayed dead, by the way. I just want to make sure that's on record. But
Fair enough.
honestly, like just make the teaser. This would be so easy because you don't need to pay anyone like to do the movements. Literally just be like a shot from like you're looking at Deadpool and then he's like about to play football and then just like across the entire screen, like Hulk's huge leg comes down. Like you don't even need to show full Hulk. Like there you go. There's the teaser.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So I'll throw this out to you. So we already got Deadpool 3 is your most anticipated. 5 trailers you think are for sure, and then one that you wouldn't be surprised if they threw in there, or one that you would be shocked to see but think is plausible.
All right, I'm gonna need the list again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 5 that I think are probably gonna happen would be Deadpool, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, The Quiet Place because we know it already released.
Yeah, that one kind of already showed its cards.
If and Kung Fu Panda 4. Those are the 5 that I think are probably going to happen.
Okay. For my 5, I'm going to say I think I'll put Deadpool in there because just there's so much hype around it. I want it to be true.
Yes.
So I'll put Deadpool, I'll put Kingdom, Inside Out. Yeah, Quiet Place has kind of already shown its cards. I'm going to put Wicked in there. I think
Okay.
Wicked might try to pull out something pretty impressive.
Okay. And that
As
would
far-
be, I mean, and that is very beloved source material. So that would be a big hit.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as one that would shock me, but I think is plausible, maybe they're further along on Mufasa than we thought. And if you put out a Lion King, if you even just put out a teaser where it shows what's it called, that the rock that they live on, Pride Rock.
Pride Rock.
Yeah, if they show Pride Rock with a lion walking out of it and just say Mufasa at the end, I mean that would blow up.
No, I
And
agree.
I think it's possible they pull that off.
I can see that.
Do you have one that comes to mind for maybe a shocker but plausible?
I like your Furiosa pick.
Mhm.
I think there was one I was just looking at. Maybe because it's liked enough and it's a big franchise and people of all generations, especially older dads, love their Ghostbusters. Maybe we see another Ghostbusters Frozen Empire trailer.
I was thinking of that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I only didn't mention that one because they put out a trailer like a week ago.
Right. Yeah.
Something like that. So I don't know why. Well, then again, Quiet Place Day 1 dropped one today. And they're supposed to have one
and
on
you'll
Sunday.
see that. Yeah.
So maybe they do drop another one on Sunday. But yeah, anyway, guys, question goes to you. What are you guys looking forward to for the Super Bowl trailers? What do you think is a definite pick that is going to happen? What would surprise you, but also delight you if it popped up on your screen on Sunday? Comment down below and let us know. And with that, guys, we are just going to take your live comments and questions now. We'll go for as long as the chat goes for. Again, we probably won't take every single comment and question, but we'll try to get to the most that we can get to. You still good for time?
I'm
still
great.
good?
I'm great.
All right. Awesome. All right. So let's see. Where do we leave off? Well, we got Jacob here just being real nice, saying you both are awesome and are going to kill 2024 with your channels. Well, thank you so much, dude. That's so nice of you.
Same to you, Jacob.
The Ace Avenue sent in another super chat. Dude, you're too kind. Thank you so much. He says, I'd like to see a Deadpool and Miss Marvel commercial. Ooh, that's interesting. It would be full circle considering she was the first mutant reference in the MCU. That would be epic. I like that first mutant reference. The Marvels bombed.
Yeah.
That's the only thing is the Marvels did not do well.
But they could, if they were cool enough with this, they could make Deadpool make a couple jokes about that.
True.
I don't know if they'll go there, but
yeah, I wonder if Iger would be cool with that.
Something's going to tell me no, but
I feel like Feige's fine, but Bob Iger has kind of like a treat our properties with respect kind of vibe to him. So
yeah, but
I
on the other side of the coin, treating Deadpool with respect would be letting him make fun of stuff.
All right. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know which way Bob Iger would go.
Yeah.
I feel
we'll get him on the show.
I feel like even Miss Marvel is that definitive enough that he is in the MCU to some people?
No.
Because it just wasn't that popular of a movie, unfortunately. So, but I'd love to see. I love Miss Marvel, so I would love to see that. You got my attention.
I think Iman Vellani rocks.
Yeah, I just don't think you have the world's attention. Let's see here. We got Daily Reacts TV saying, I've already shared your stream on my community page on my. Oh, well, thank you so much, dude. That was so nice of you. I really appreciate that. Have you seen that with Tia saying, I will go see One Love next week? Is that when it comes out? Is next week?
I saw there's an early screening for it next week, like on next Monday or something. But
I don't think they drop a trailer then at the Super Bowl. I don't think they do that.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that soon. Wow. Have you seen that with T says, Sully and Zach, I'm holding off to watch your reviews of Argyle, and I will finally get to my review tonight. Then I will check out your reviews. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I'll definitely check out your review as well. Hope you liked it. Nathan Dread Movie says, do you think Cobra Kai Season 6 is a bad idea? Unlike my brother, who is a Cobra Kai fanatic, I do not like the idea of Season 6 because of how Season 5 ended. I'm kind of on the same page as you. I think Season 5 kind of wrapped up a lot of storylines and a lot of conflicts were resolved, and I don't really know, besides Kreese, who I thought like his jailbreak was one of the funniest, ridiculous things I've ever seen on TV. It was so stupid. Did you see Cobra Kai? Did you watch Cobra Kai?
I've seen none of it, actually.
You've seen none of it. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting series to watch because it started on YouTube Red.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, and the first season kind of feels like it.
Like, is it very low production, that first season?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But then Netflix bought it.
Right.
And it just like slowly starts to
creep up.
Although, to give YouTube Red some credit, they also did season 2, and season 2's finale is like amazing. It's a big school fight. It's awesome. The way that they build the conflicts and then have them just erupt in the season finales have always been so great. But I'm kind of on the same page as Nathan here. The way season 5 ended, it kind of felt like a series finale to me, except for one loose end with the Kreese character. I don't know what they're going to do with season 6. The fact that they have decided that they want to do another season and that's where they're going to end it, I just am trusting that they know what they're doing with it and they have something. The Laser says Moana was going to be a Disney Plus TV series and was announced back in 2020, but they thought it would work better as a feature film, so this project has been in production for a while now. That doesn't instill confidence in me very much, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it was going to be a Disney Plus series, and then they just decided to make it a second movie? Was it just like not good enough as a TV series, or I don't know. I could go either way with that. Either it was so good, we can't just make this a series and it's got to be in theaters, or we might as well just make money off this because the series is kind of bad, so let's make it a second. Like, I don't know. What do you think about that? Does that get you pumped?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If it wasn't good enough as a TV show, which is kind of probably what they're saying here,
Yeah.
doesn't instill too much confidence.
Well, the thing that I don't understand with that is like you pitch the show, you have the story. Don't you decide there and then whether it's a show or a movie? Like, why do you make a show and then in the middle of it go, oh, well, this should be a movie. We'll just make it
Right.
like, why didn't you go in with that intention in the first place? Why wasn't that what you wanted to do?
But it's like, shouldn't that always be a red flag? Because it's
Hmm.
like, if there's not enough content, if there's not enough character development, if the story isn't compelling enough to last like 6 to 10 hours, then they're like, all right, just cut it down to a movie instead. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't doesn't usually bode well.
Well, even the reverse, right? Like Obi-Wan was supposed to be a movie, and then they decided to
Right.
make it into a TV show, and I think that was a terrible idea.
Didn't see that either.
I think you didn't see Obi-Wan?
No.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I could get into this
Interesting.
all day though. Like I'm a OG diehard Star Wars fan. Like
Okay.
I've seen very little of the shows. I didn't even watch the finale of Boba Fett. I thought that show was so bad. And I've only seen the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. I think the only good thing to come out of um Disney's acquisition of the property, the only good thing is Andor, which I thought was incredible and can go
Andor was
toe to
awesome.
toe with like the OG property stuff. But outside of that, I'm the wrong guy to ask about that stuff, unfortunately, because I think it's
Interesting. I mean, like, I'm not surprised you haven't seen Obi-Wan because, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's not. But I just like just Star Wars. I was surprised you hadn't seen it. You're
I
not
haven't seen
missing
that.
much.
Haven't seen Ahsoka.
You're not missing
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Nah. Enviro Earth 2 says, did you guys watch Two and a Half Men? Charlie Sheen reunited with the creator and the kid after their big fallout during Charlie's drug meltdown. Nope, never seen it. Saw the finale. I thought the finale was horrible. My mom and my dad used to watch the show, and the last episode was on, and we watched it, and I thought it was just like one big troll to Charlie Sheen. It was just like terrible. It felt so spiteful and like personal for the creators. I just never bothered to watch the series after seeing that finale. Did you watch it?
I haven't really, but funny story about that is I always make fun of my fiance about that because since you grew up in Vermont, they like didn't really have like extensive cable TV and stuff, but like when they'd stay with their like grandparents, that's like when they got to watch like a bunch of stuff because they had like good cable and everything.
Mm.
And my fiance hadn't seen like any of my classic stuff. Like didn't watch SpongeBob, didn't watch any of that stuff. But like
Oh wow.
one day would just be like quoting episodes of Two and a Half Men. Like for some reason, growing up, she saw a ton of Two and a Half Men, which is so bizarre. Um, but I've seen very little of it.
Yeah. No, not something I can talk much about.
I won't watch the finale tonight though. After that review, so
Yeah, I'm surprised I remember it because when did that show end? Like 2014, maybe.
that might even
Something.
be too recent.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it was
Yeah.
even. But I will never forget it. It was awful
Oh wait a sec, because didn't like Ashton Kutcher take over or something?
for the last couple seasons, or maybe the
Right.
last. Yeah,
Okay.
he was there. Yeah. Um, Enviro 3 says Jekyll and Hyde has never had a movie, so I will choose that. Oh, interesting. Not a bad choice.
That's crazy. There's been a standalone movie for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's surprising.
Yeah, that seems bizarre. Uh, have you seen that with Tia saying bring back Nicolas Cage for Face Off too?
T gets it.
Would you pair him up with John Travolta again, or do you find someone
You'd
new?
have to.
Yeah.
You would just have to. Kill him off if
Um,
you don't want him in it. Kill him off, and then it'll be someone else.
Enviro 2 says, who would you cast Zach as? I would say Jimmy Olsen. Oh, interesting. Who would you
There you
cast
go.
me as?
I don't know. You're really putting me on the spot here.
Yeah, that is an on the
Does it
spot
have to be
question.
like a DC character? Let me see.
I don't think there's any perimeters for that.
There's gotta be. I'll cast you as like a Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
I'll take that.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. Darkest Day and Darkest Night. I'll take that. The Laser says if cast Ryan Reynolds, Steve Carell, Awkwafina, Matt Damon, Jon Stewart, Phoebe Waller, Bridge. Are you just naming off the cast? Oh, the if cast. Okay. I was so confused. I was like,
No, I was lost
what?
there too. We're just
Okay.
naming famous people.
I see. That's the if cast. Okay. I was waiting for the end of that. If you casted
if
blank,
you
blank, blank
cast
for something,
these
but it just
people.
kept going. Luke Irvin, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. He says, hey, everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Another great channel, Luke Irvin. Jacob Hubbard says, sounds silly, but I want a remake of Land of the Lost. Oh my goodness, is that the Will Ferrell movie?
The Will Ferrell dinosaur one. You're right, Jacob. That is silly.
That
I
is
don't know
really
if I want
silly.
that remade.
I don't know if I could watch that again. I don't remember liking that one very much. Enviro2 says Sully looks like Zac Efron before the surgery.
Wow, I gotta come on this show more often because I'm just getting showered with. I'll take.
You're
that.
well liked.
Yeah.
Nathan Turner Movie says David Leitch, to me personally, is a horrible fit to direct a Jurassic Park film. I mean, unless they're going for like that smaller scale, more personal story, I do think it's a bizarre choice. I do. But
so I wouldn't say that I hate the pick just because I like David Leitch as a director. Is it out of his wheelhouse if they are going big budget, classic Jurassic Park? Definitely. But if you look at like, they've made bizarre choices in the past. Like, isn't it, who did Jurassic World? Wasn't that Colin Trevorrow or whatever his name is? And the movie he did before that was that little indie kind of rom-com, Safety Not Guaranteed, which I loved. But I was like, how did he go here to Jurassic World?
Yeah.
And that was the best of those remake or sequel parts of the franchise. So I think David Leitch will be a cool addition to it. We'll see what happens.
That's a really good point too, because like indie directors have been pulled out of the indie scene to be put into big blockbusters. Like even James Gunn is one of those.
Yeah.
Like he was not doing big Guardians of the Galaxies before Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's definitely not unheard of. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely not the first thing that pops into your mind.
No.
Jacob Hubbard says he's a great action director. The thing is, Jurassic Park has always had horror adjacent tones. I never seen Leitch handle horror themes, so I'm curious what direction they're going with him directing. That's an interesting observation.
No, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I think the franchise kind of lost some of its horrorness in Dominion. Dominion didn't have too many sequences that I thought were terrifying.
I thought there's some great horror adjacent scenes in Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, I agree. Fallen Kingdom had
there was some really killer ones whenever the girl was asleep when the dinosaur was out, and there was like that whole shadow silhouette scene of him, like the one big claw pulling down her blanket and stuff, and like there was some really cool stuff in that one.
And as like goofy as it is when the guy gets in the cage with him.
I was just about to say when the guy's in the cage to get the tooth or whatever.
Yeah, to pull out the tooth, and the T-Rex literally, or whatever it is, smiles at the camera.
And it's like that's actually a cool scene where like he thinks the dinosaur has like been tranquilized. And so like he goes to pull the tooth and then you see the tail go up and then he looks behind him and the tail stops again and like he keeps going back. That's a really cool scene.
See, I liked that, but I could have done without the grinning and the wink of the dinosaur.
I don't remember that. I think I've blocked that out. I don't remember the grin and the wink.
Go back and watch it, dude.
Did it play a little like drum riff too or something?
It might as well. It might as well. He literally like looks at the camera and smiles and like closes his eye again.
Yeah, that might be a little too on the nose.
It was absolutely. Enviro2 says I could see James Gunn green lighting a Smallville Elseworlds movie. Tom and Michael brought it up recently, and Michael is friends with James. True, but I don't. Is there money there? Like I know that Smallville is a beloved, maybe more of a cult following, but could they actually do something big budget with? Unless you're gonna just throw it on HBO Max, then I think you could do something with that pretty easily. I think you do like a reunion movie or something. That would probably work out fine. But I don't know about big budget in the theater. What do you did you watch Smallville?
Oh, well, yeah, that was going to be my next thing. Like, as a guy, I can't really rate the excitement level for everybody around that because I haven't seen any of Smallville.
Mhm.
So I don't want this, but if it's a big enough thing, it would get made. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's some excitement around, but wasn't there I might have the series mixed up, but wasn't there a girl on that show that was like a main character who got arrested for being like a cult leader?
Okay, I think you're not wrong. I
I
can't
think
tell
that
you
was
her.
Smallville. Yeah, I don't know who it was.
I'm just googling Smallville actress cult.
Yeah, I think you'll find it that way. If I'm thinking of the right show, then you should be able to find that.
Yes, Allison Mack.
Okay.
Yes,
So wasn't she
correct.
like I guess you could always recast
This
her,
was
but
this was like recent.
yeah, I knew I had memory of like a
Yeah.
headline of that. See, so the press around it may not be the best
Yeah,
because
she probably won't be reprising her role.
I don't see that happening. You could probably recast her, but if you get those guys in a room, the press junkets are just going to ask all the questions.
Yes.
Nathan's Random Movie says, "Do you guys think that the MCU now has no central direction like it did in the Infinity Saga?" No central direction. I wouldn't say that. I would just say it's not executed as clearly, and I think there's a lot more elements and factors that have gone into that that are out of their control. I think the pandemic had a lot to do with that. I think switching over CEOs and regimes had a lot to do with that. Kevin Feige lost power. I think that had a lot to do with that. And Disney Plus, they didn't have Disney Plus during the Infinity Saga, and they had bosses who mandated a certain amount for Disney Plus. I think that was a factor in it as well. So it's not just one answer, but definitely, yeah, it's definitely not as straightforward as I think they had with the Infinity Saga, and it's messier. You just can't get around it. It's messier.
Yeah.
What would you say to that, man?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. If I could go back and do it all over again, I probably like would never make a single Marvel show if I was the one in
Mm-hmm.
charge. I would probably never make any of those Disney shows because it kind of I feel like cheapened how much of cinematic events it used to be going to the theater to see
Yeah.
these things. Um, but I agree. I think it has no central direction if you're comparing it to the Infinity Saga.
Yeah. Good
But
point.
if we look back at the central direction, like of where we are today, if we were where we are now in phase one of the Infinity Saga, I don't know
Yeah.
if we really saw where it was all going at that point. So I'd give them the benefit of the doubt, just saying that if they do have a central direction in mind, it's not the plan hasn't all been laid out to us yet.
I don't think the Infinity Saga was like fully shaped until Age of Ultron.
Hmm.
I think Age of Ultron is when it was kind of like, oh, they have a plan that they're going to try and follow. And then I remember around that time is when YouTubers who were knowledgeable about the comics and stuff like that really started to speculate about where the story was going with the Infinity Saga.
I
But up
agree
until
with
that
you.
point, it
Because I
wasn't
think
really.
because it was just a business plan at the beginning there because there was a couple movies that were very rushed. I mean, Iron Man 2 was super rushed just so it could set up a
Yeah.
post-credit scene that would set up the Avengers because they were
Yeah.
like, we want this Avengers movie out by 2012. Like, we don't care what needs to happen, just get it together. And then it was a huge hit. And then from there, I think they're like, all right, it worked. So now we have to like, let's wrap these people into like 30 more movies. And
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. Well, even like uh Downey Jr. was supposed to be done, I think after Iron Man 3. I
Mm.
think was when and then he like renewed for Age of Ultron and eventually for more down the line after Age of Ultron. But he was like his contract was finished like I think a couple times before even Civil War.
Isn't it
So
crazy that you think of Marvel and the MCU and you think of Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr., but he might have one of the worst solo trilogies?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
one's fantastic, obviously,
yeah. I love
but
one.
two is very eh.
Yeah, I still enjoy it, but it's definitely not as good as one. I like three. Three has a lot of elements in it though that I think are bizarre, like the villain. I just
Yes.
breathing fire and stuff. I just don't why. But the PTSD story, and I even like the stuff with him and the kid. I think that's pretty fun. And
In
stripping him of the
three,
Iron Man armor.
in three, I got pissed off by the fake Mandarin stuff, which I can't
Yeah,
believe they won me back over though with the his inclusion in Shang-Chi. I thought that was
Shang-Chi.
fantastic.
They kind of
Um,
retconned it. They were like, okay,
they
that
kind of
wasn't
yeah.
actually the man.
And Aldrich Killian is one of my least favorite villains in the MCU because they literally just copied Jim Carrey's Riddler motivation. And
So
he
true.
was just a guy that got mad at a guy at work and then made it his whole personality. So
That's very true. That's a very good point.
yeah, in its simplest terms.
Zach Attack is in here. What's going on, my friend? Thank you for being here. One of our beloved channel members as well. Thank you for being a channel member. It says 2 of the coolest dudes on YouTube planet. Oh, dude, you're too kind.
Too kind, Zach.
Thank you so much. The Laser says, is it weird how the third movie is called Jurassic World Dominion and it's yellow? Universal, what are you trying to wait? Sorry. That's over my head. Are you getting that reference?
I don't know. Is it because the logo?
Jurassic World Dominion and it's yellow. Universal, what are you trying to do?
Like the logo is extremely yellow. I don't know if that's what he's talking about.
But. Like, is he trying to say like it's a big bowl of piss or something? Is
that might be a leap from your perspective, but
that's the yellow.
You're not wrong.
Oh no, sorry. It's a ray of sunshine. It brings happiness to the world. That's what it is. Jacob Hubbard said, all I ask is please, please, please make the T-Rex scary again. Make the Raptors scary again. We do not need hybrid dinos. The T-Rex does not need to be a hero every time. Okay.
Preaching to the choir.
This is a tangent. And it's not spoilers for Argyle because I'll keep it super vague. But there's a scene. I wonder if this came to your mind too when you were watching Argyle, because it immediately popped into my mind when I watched it. There's a scene where Bryce Dallas Howard needs to run, and she's wearing high heels, and she specifically they show us she takes off her heels to run down this hallway. And I remember when that happened in the movie, I just flashed back to like they did that because we all 100%. Got pissed that she could outrun a T-Rex in high heels.
100%.
You cannot convince me otherwise that's why they made sure that we saw that.
That was definitely why it was visible.
Mm-hmm.
But I completely agree with Jacob here. Like, they need to go back to the horror elements of this. I'm actually pretty excited. I don't know if you're a gamer at all, but I love video games, especially like horror survival games. And they dropped a trailer. They're doing like a horror survival Jurassic Park game. And I'm give me that as a movie. So clearly someone is there in the creative office that knows that should be what they're doing if they're making this game. So like just do it in the movie, please.
Just hasn't gotten that promotion yet.
No. I'm going to buy 10 copies of the game to make sure he does.
Enviro 2 says, when do you think we will see the Flash on screen on live action? Excuse me. 2023 was the year of the Flash TV show ending and movie. My goodness, I don't know, because James Gunn's Chapter 1 has like 16 projects, and not one of them is the Flash or Justice League. I doubt he shows up in Superman Legacy. Also, you know what? As much as I enjoyed the Flash, like I really like that Flash movie. We need some years removed from it. The audience needs to be reset on what the Flash is. I think it could be a while. 2027 at the earliest is what I'll say.
That's probably a good pick, I think.
Yeah.
We're not seeing him anytime soon.
The Laser's saying Warner Brothers is not going to have Super Bowl trailers. Oh, okay. Have they come out and said that somewhere? The Laser says Netflix, Prime Video, Sony, and Warner Brothers are going to be skipping the Super Bowl this year. I think it makes sense for streaming services to skip because, like, why put in that millions of dollars when you're all struggling to begin with on your services?
The only way I'd see Netflix put out a trailer is if the first part of Rebel Moon was a massive hit and was highly acclaimed, because that second part comes out in 2 months. But it was not a huge hit.
I forgot that's
in April.
That comes out in April?
That's in April.
Has there been a trailer? There hasn't been anything for it, has there?
I don't think so. I think there's like a clip. I think there's one clip.
Wow. Okay. That was not on my radar. I totally forgot about Rebel Moon coming out this year. Enviro 2 says, do you think Allison Mack could do Comic-Con stop? No. I don't think No, you keep her away from any press, anyone who has a microphone to ask her a question.
It would just be through like a prison phone.
Yeah. Well, is she in prison? Did that article say? I don't know. I don't know anything about the story. Nathan Dread Movie says the Deadpool 3 trailer is going to be a full-on event. I mean, like Sully was saying, it would be very Deadpool to give us a very like not lackluster, but like not what we were expecting, and just have
Right.
like a video of him in his Deadpool suit with Hugh Jackman in his Wolverine suit at a diner, like in How It Should Have Ended shorts.
Yeah.
No, like I wouldn't be surprised if that would to happen. Zack Attack says if looks boring. I mean, fair enough, man. I think it looks intriguing, and I like the cast behind it, but I haven't been impressed by the trailers.
It
I'll
might
say
just
that.
be like Monsters Inc. light.
You know what? That's a
know?
really good way of explaining
Yeah.
it. That it does kind of look like that. Luke Irvin says it'll end up being a Mint Mobile ad.
Could happen.
Yeah. Hey, he's got to pay the bills. Zack Attack says it should be She-Hulk, Deadpool breaking the fourth wall in front of Wolverine. That would be fun if She-Hulk was better received, I think. And we don't really know what they're doing with She-Hulk anymore. Like,
we might not see her.
yeah, we might. Like, I hope that she continues in some way, but it sounds like season 2 is not going to happen. So, but like, yeah, I want to see She-Hulk interact with Deadpool. I think that sounds like endless possibilities of fun. But yeah, I don't know about that one. Nathan Trying to Movie says Mufasa sounds like the most useless movie of the past decade. Nobody was asking for it. True, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Mufasa will hit $1 billion like Lion King? Because Lion King is a name, and Mufasa is a character in Lion King. But do you think that audiences care about a Mufasa prequel just because it's connected to the Lion King?
Well, I'll tell you this. This should tell you everywhere how I stand with this is I like to put my money where my mouth is. If I don't want reboots and sequels and all that stuff, I like, even though it won't make a difference, I like to, not spend my money on stuff that's going to promote that. So I didn't even go see the live action Lion King. I haven't even seen it.
Wow. Okay.
So
Respect.
I will not be seeing this either, most likely.
Respect, man. All
Not
right.
every character needs an origin story.
Very true as well. That's very true.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jacob Hubbard says I would love to see Nosferatu, but no way. Oh, for the Super Bowl trailers, but no way. And I bet Wicked is not seen on Sunday. Maybe Sonic 3. Sonic 3. That doesn't come out till December.
I was gonna say, is that Christmas?
Yeah.
I mean, I love it, but I don't.
That's way too early. If you think about it, though, like it comes out at Christmas. The Super Bowl is like $1 million a minute, or something like somewhere like that to put out a trailer.
Yeah.
That if you just dropped online would probably get the views anyways. So why would you spend millions of dollars to put it in the Super Bowl this far out from it's like it's the beginning of the year and it comes out at the end of the year? I don't think so. I'm sorry, Jacob.
Also, if like you buy into like that the stereotypical demographic is like middle-aged dads watching, like I don't know how much Sonic fandom there is there.
That's also true. And that does definitely play a part in what they want to put out there. Jacob Hubbard says would be really cool to see the new Alien tease. Ooh, I would love an Alien Romulus trailer. Also, maybe, but probably not the new Kevin Costner Western movie. I want to see Twisters. See, going back to your middle-aged dad, Twisters is probably something that would get them because Twister is from their youth potentially. How old is Twister? Is that 1990 or what is that?
I think it might be 80s.
Is that 80s? I have the VHS. I bought the VHS the other day.
Okay. Well, that ages it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I was way off. It was late 90s, 96.
96? Okay. That's still, I mean, that's almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I think that would play to the crowd.
But to Jacob's credit here, though, middle-aged dads also love Westerns, cowboys, and Kevin Costner. So I could see that.
That's true.
Actually, it's pretty cool. Have you heard what he's doing with that?
I have no idea what this even is.
It's actually kind of cool. He's doing like one big Western movie that's like a two-parter, and they come out like 1 month after the other.
Oh.
It's actually kind of cool. Yeah.
That is really cool. That's like,
let me look up what that's called.
I don't know. That's ever been done before. I know that there's been, I think the Matrix sequels, they released like what, 3 or 6 months apart when they came out, but
it's called Horizon, an American Saga. I mean, come on, that title is such bait for a Super Bowl. Come on, an American Saga? Give me a break.
That's okay. That's
comes out in
got a
June.
potential.
So,
June?
yeah, it
Okay.
comes out in June.
I think that's a pretty small movie, so you definitely want to get eyes on it. But
Big
will they?
star though, at least used to be.
Yeah. Will they have the? Do you think they'll have the marketing budget though to afford the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the
I
only
actually think
thing.
Costner might be funding some of it himself, so that's actually even less
Ooh.
possible, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Nathan Fan Movie says, "What's a show you guys started good and then just kind of went, oh, Riverdale." Riverdale is like the answer for that. Started off good and then just kind of went off the rails.
I don't know. I mean, I'll say Arrested Development just because it got bad, and we talked about it earlier. But
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Maybe Lost.
Oh yeah, I heard that
Yeah,
loses it.
I
in
feel
its
like you
later
would have
half.
liked that. You never watched that?
Started it,
Mhm.
liked the first episode. Then I found out that the finale sucks, and that just killed any of my
come
enjoyment.
on.
That's it. That's it. That's all it
All
takes.
right.
I'm like, I'm gonna invest how many hours into this to get
There's
to a
some
place
stuff
that
in there
sucks?
that's really, really good. Like,
I don't doubt it, but is the destination worth it?
I don't know.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, right? I'm weird like that. It's just if you tell me that I have to, it gets really good in the third season, I'm like, and then I'm not gonna watch your show
Hey,
because
sometimes it's the journey, not the destination.
yeah, but life is short.
That's true too.
Life is
Life isn't that short. You're watching like 80 Godzilla movies.
Touche. That's fair. I read a joke, but I don't think I want to display it on the screen. Nathan Shredder Movie says, "Can you guys name any 3 DC movies for me? Just any 3. It doesn't matter. The Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. Does that count?
That's easy.
I don't know. There you
Or
go,
I'll say
man.
like Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, and Man of Steel. There you go.
There you go. I might have missed I probably jumped over something that he was asking us, and he was just like desperate to get us to say something. So I apologize for that, Nathan.
He didn't know
that
if
is
his comments were coming through. He just wanted to see
Yeah.
if anyone.
just anyone. Nathan Van Movies also says, "Are you guys excited for the Electric State? New Russo's never heard of it. Is that coming out this year? The Russo brothers haven't been great outside of Marvel.
I was just gonna say, I hope you weren't a massive Russo brothers fanboy because I'm very out on them.
Yeah, I didn't even bother seeing Cherry.
I think they haven't really done much of anything outside of the MCU, and doing those. I mean, obviously, Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie, and they did that, and couldn't be more in debt to them for putting that on screen because they literally
Yeah.
made a Born Identity Captain America movie, basically,
So
and
good.
it's so good. And to me, that kind of showed that MCU movies could be more than superhero films. Like that was like an espionage
Right.
political thriller. So I'll always have a special place in my heart for them for that. I think even though it's super intricate that they balanced out both of those 2 later Avengers films, which are the 2 best Avengers films, I will say that the story was written already. Like it was the culmination of all these films. Like I feel like a lot of directors could have done that. I'm not taking away how hard of a job that is,
That's fair though, yeah.
but I do think the ink was dry long before anyone signed on to direct that. But yeah, I mean, Gray Man, Cherry, there was like something else I can't even remember, but not good.
Wasn't there like a Chadwick Boseman movie that was like
Was it action?
I think so. I can't remember what it was. It was like Train Station or something. I don't remember.
Train Station.
It was what was it called?
Let me look.
I can't remember.
This might shock you. I'm looking at their filmography right now. No Train Station.
No Train Station. Okay.
No. Oh, 21 Bridges. Is that what you're thinking of?
There you go. Yes, 21.
They didn't direct that. But
They didn't direct. Oh, okay.
They produced it.
It was just produced. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing a trailer for that when I went to go see a movie in the theater, and then I never saw another trailer for it again. And then I found the Blu-ray at Walmart randomly one day.
I will say, I will give them props because who signed them on to do this? Like, who thought they had the ability to do this? Because they went from directing You, Me, and Dupree with Owen Wilson to making Winter Soldier. Like, that's the biggest talent gap I think I've ever seen in my entire life, and they killed
That's
that.
crazy. And then they did Civil War, and then they did Infinity War, and then they did it.
I forgot they did Civil War. Stop! You're gonna make me like them again. Like I'm out right now. But
Oh yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was more Kevin Feige directing them than their direction, but yeah. Regardless, their names are on it, and I'll forever love those movies. Minion and Yellow. Okay.
I would have never made that connection.
No, I'm glad you said that, man. Kenny Sparks is in here. What's going on?
Kenny.
He says, "Hey, family. My biggest issue with Gunn's Chapter 1 is that based on his current schedule, we won't see half the Justice League members for maybe 4 or 5. Yep, 4 or 5 years. Yep,
He's really slow playing it.
really slow playing it, and giving us a lot of obscure. Well, maybe not to everybody, but at least to me, who just watches
The casual
movies, a lot
audience.
of obscure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lance's Jackson, the movie fan. I think you changed your name, man. That's awesome. What's up, Zach? And hey, everyone. Just in bed, ready to go thrifting at Goodwill tomorrow. Well, that's awesome, dude. I hope you have a great.
Love the Bad Albert picture.
I thought you were good. I thought you saying I'm just in bed going thrifting, and I didn't realize how that was gonna work. But that's awesome, man. Thanks for joining us tonight, dude. Good to see you in here. It's been a little bit since you've been in here, man. So great to see you back. Jacob Hubbard says, I'll throw a random trailer idea. Could we see House of Dragon season 2? Ooh, that shot during the strike, didn't it? It had the permission to keep going.
You're right. That did keep going. And I think
Yeah.
that's actually that's a good sleeper pick for some kind of teaser.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Did you watch that? Are you a Game of Thrones person? And
No, I haven't seen that one.
are you not a medieval fantasy guy? Or are you
I don't think it's so much a medieval fantasy. It's more so just like I'm Christian.
Yeah.
So there's things in media that sometimes I just don't feel comfortable watching. And Game of Thrones has a lot of nudity and sex.
They do
stuff in
have
it.
a lot of adult content in
Yeah. So, I just don't really feel like that's something I need.
Yeah.
But I hear Game of Thrones is like fantastic, obviously. So Kenny Sparks says, as the biggest Lion King fan in human history, still trying to
Wow.
convince my wife to name our firstborn Simba Sparks. Dude,
That's a
I
great
love
name.
that name. That's amazing. Why isn't she on board with that? I'm lukewarm on the idea based on the last live action Lion King. Yeah, fair enough. I think lukewarm is pretty generous. I don't think most people would put it that nicely.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Some Allison Mack talk now. I guess we opened the floodgates on that one. Nathan's Random Movie says, I had you name those to decide what movies I should start off watching for my big DC watch through when Joker 2 comes out. Oh, okay. Okay, well, glad we could help, man. Jacob Hubbard says, all right, my guys, I got school in the morning. You both have a great night. And Zach, I will see you in the sheets too. Have a great Boston sleep one, Sully. Well, thank you for joining us, Jacob. I think that is an interesting statement. I you've said that before, but
Good sign off.
it always throws me off. Zack Attack says, I like Gray Man and Extraction 1 and 2. Oh, did the Russos do Extraction 1
Okay,
and 2?
so I think they produced. They didn't direct it though. Sam
Yeah.
Hargrave directed. But those action movies rock. I don't think those get enough credit. Those are really fun. I hope they just keep making those.
Yeah, that makes sense. The Laser says best Brooklyn Nine-Nine moment for me was the I Want It That Way scene. That is pretty good. You haven't seen the show, but I'll just throw out mine.
I've
Maybe
seen
not-
that scene though, and I do.
Yeah.
I do know that's a classic.
That's a good moment. Maybe not moment, but I'll give episode is I think it's called The Box when they're interrogating what's his name? Sandberg. Andy, is it Andy Sandberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's interrogating the it's Sterling K. Brown, I think, plays the guy
Love
he's
him.
interrogating. Yeah, dude, awesome episode. The comedy hits and it actually has some suspense and tension to it. So that's my favorite episode and has some of my favorite moments. Like when he finally breaks the guy, fantastic. Enviro Earth 2 says, do you think we'll see Johnny Depp in movies? I heard Pirates was being rebooted without him. That's been a rumor forever that Margot Robbie was going to do it. I think I saw the other day. Who's the new hot actress?
You're right. There
right
was someone that was taking the reins.
It wasn't Jenna Ortega, was it?
No.
She's the one that's coming to mind. It was some new actress that's really hot right now.
Oh, Ayo Edebiri.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. From The Bear. I love her in The Bear.
Yeah.
And Bottoms.
She's great. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
awesome.
she's really blowing up. She was on SNL recently, so yeah, interesting. Honestly, not interested in a Pirates reboot. To be honest with you, I liked the first film, and then the rest of the franchise didn't really hit for me that I think it had some cool action sequences, especially in the third film. Story wise, I just never really got into them, especially the fifth one they did, Dead Men Tell No Tales. I didn't like that one very much at all. So I don't know. I don't really care to see Johnny Depp return to that franchise, and I don't really care to see a reboot. If they do a reboot, all they can do is surprise me. Maybe it'll be good. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you want to see Johnny Depp return? Do you think he'll be in more movies?
I think he'll probably be in more movies. I don't think he'll be in anything Pirates related. Um, but
I don't think Disney wants him back in anything Pirates
I
related.
heard his bank account must be hurting a little bit because I heard if you remember there was like a thing that came out that he said he's never wants to work with Disney ever again because they actually really wanted him back. I think after
Oh, really?
the dust had settled, and he was like, "No way! Like they didn't stand by me before the trial."
He
And
literally
everything.
said it in court.
Yeah,
He literally said it on the stand that he would not do Disney
and then
Pirates
I
again.
think now I heard that he might, and they might be over it. So I don't know, but
Mm,
um, those first two movies I hold very near and dear to my heart. I think the first Pirates of the Caribbean is an incredible adventure movie, especially in a
yeah,
world where we don't really get these large scale adventure movies as much anymore. And
I agree.
I think the second one with Davy Jones has like in a world where we've gotten way too saturated with CGI in every part of our movies now. Davy Jones is like the best CGI integrated into real world movie scenes possibly ever. Um,
That was mind blowing, especially when it
yeah,
came out.
still to this day, I look at it and I'm like, how is this so good when it's like 15 years old?
Yeah, isn't that 2007?
I don't know.
Something like
You're
that.
going like real movie savant on me right now. Let me check if that's correct.
My wife always gets on me. Well, not gets on me about this, but like always makes fun of me about this. I only can track years by movie dates. So, like,
Well, I hate to be the one to tell you.
is it 2009?
2006.
2006. Okay, I
Yeah.
went up. Fair enough. Yeah. No, like she'll say something like, "Oh, like this and that," and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, well that was the year that Baby Driver came out, so that would have been 2017."
I have a buddy like that too. Like I just don't really have that. I've gotten better at it, I think, but I'm nowhere near like I can't just pull that out.
I don't know. Like you just saw, it's not 100%, but I don't know how I can just retain it. It's just I guess that's just how
Well, in your
movies impact
defense,
me.
maybe it was still in theaters in 2007. You know, like maybe it was
Maybe.
the December. I don't know. Probably
I
not.
don't know. I'm not that deep. I'm not that deep. Um, Dark Movies made it in here. Hello,
Dark
hello, Dark Movies.
movies.
I know it's like a huge time difference for you, dude. So I appreciate you spending the time and yeah, just making time for us, dude. That's very appreciated. Enviro 2 says, did you guys watch How I Met Your Mother? If so, what was your favorite Barney moment? Oh, well, I did watch all of How I Met Your Mother. Disappointing finale. Disappointing last season, I would say. In retrospect, when you get to the end of it, the whole thing just feels wasted. Funny show though. Have you seen that one? How I Met Your
I
Mother?
didn't keep up with it until the end. I think I binged it one year before it was all done and then like just didn't catch up when it was like live and ending. It does stink that I heard that that finale is no good because I do really like the woman that played his wife, Kristen Melody is great. Um like she's also if you've seen it
Oh, okay.
she's great in that Andy Samberg movie Palm Springs. I don't know if you watched that, but that's an incredible comedy.
I never did get around to watching that one, but I remember
That's
there was a
an
lot of
awesome
buzz around
movie.
that one.
But my favorite Barney moment, and I still want to buy these for myself, is anytime he's at home, like and it's like kind of late, so it's like bedtime, and he's wearing his like pajama version of his suit.
Oh yeah, I
I
remember
want
that.
the suit
That's
pajamas.
great. I mean, it's not necessarily just a Barney moment, but like for their 100th episode, they did the Suits musical.
Okay.
That's fun. I love that
I don't know if
movie.
I ever saw that.
No, yeah, they did
I
a
don't
whole
know.
musical about how great Suits are and how
I
much
don't know if
Barney
I
loves
made it
them.
to episode 100.
I think I've been no, it wouldn't have been the pandemic. It was earlier than that. I think the last year of high school I binged that with my dad. We found time to binge it. But yeah, I haven't watched it since that binge because I just didn't like the finale. So
Are you on the Suits train? Everyone's watching Suits.
nope. No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
I haven't
My
seen any.
wife started watching that,
Yeah.
and then she just kind of got like a bunch of episodes ahead of me, and she was like, "Well, I'm not going back." So,
Yes.
but I was like, "Ah, all right, that's fine. I got Godzilla to watch or whatever. I can find
Tons of
something.
Godzilla movies.
Tons of Godzilla." Dark Movie says just woke up at 7 a.m. for him. Wow, man. Well, I hope you have a great day. A great day ahead of you, my friend.
Dark, you should be sleeping for like another 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not getting up at 7.
he probably has school, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
At 7. Yeah. Kenny Sparks says it's been a real slow month for good movies, so I'm just trying to make it to March. What March movies are you looking forward to the most?
Pull up a little calendar here.
Yeah, what is coming out in March?
Oh, well, obviously Dune Part 2, which is March 1.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's the first.
Um,
That's kind of like you just have to have that one.
yeah, you have to. I'd say Dune Part 2, Kung Fu Panda, and I don't know
Kung
if
Fu
you've
Panda's
heard
a good
about
one.
this one. Have you heard about Love Lies Bleeding?
Yeah, I saw the trailer. That's the Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart and Ed
Yeah.
Harris. I'm gonna be all over that one. That's like right up my alley.
Yeah, that one looks interesting. Godzilla X Kong is at the end.
Oh yeah, to your
But
dismay.
I'd be looking forward to that being done with Godzilla for a little bit. I do hope the movies get better. I'll just say that. Yeah, probably Kung Fu Panda 4 is definitely up there. And then yeah, Dune. I'm looking forward to watching the first one and then the second one.
Wait, have you not seen the first?
Nope.
Oh, man.
Intentionally. I just like waited.
Intentionally.
Yep.
Wow.
Because I waited too long. Not waited too long, but it came out during the day and date release.
Yes.
My theater in my town was still not open. With the pandemic stuff that was still going on. And HBO Max had not come to Canada yet.
Oh wow.
So I just like never had access to it. And then I just kind of like let it slip through the cracks. And then I just kind of figured, well, I'll just wait till Dune Part 2 comes out, and then that way I'll just springboard from 1 into 2 and not have to wait in agony for a year like everyone else because I don't know what I'm missing. So
I mean, you have a lot more restraint than most people, I think.
Yeah, I have restraint and just like life is busy.
Yes. But yeah, you'll really like the first one. I love that first movie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I did watch the first 15 minutes because I was gonna watch it at one point. And I was also doing something else, and I was like, "Well, I'm doing this. I'll watch it." And then I just realized, like, no, I can't take my eyes off the screen for a second, or
It's
I'm
a
just
detail movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not gonna get this if I take my eyes off the screen.
It's literally like darker adult Star Wars kinda. So you gotta pay attention.
Absolutely. Actually, that's kind of a fun question to throw out to you. My go-to movie of like if I'm multitasking and want something in the background is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Like that's like my comfort food type movie. I can just throw that on the background. I love everything about it. Is there a movie that like if you're editing or working on something, you'll just like throw on in the background as like your comfort food movie?
Well, I will say, unfortunately, I wish I could multitask like that. I'm one of those psychos that, like, if I'm editing, that's all I'm doing. Like, no music, no other stimuli. Like, I'm just like head down, blinders on, to like edit and everything. But my comfort movie that I could have on in the background, and unfortunately for other people, would probably be like quoting all the time, like as it's going on, is also my favorite movie ever, which is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ooh. Nice. That's a
Just
good
so
pick.
quotable, and there's so many good different diverse scenes. Like I've always said, like Spielberg said he wanted to design that movie like a roller coaster ride, and it just has like a little bit of every genre packed into it, so everybody like can find something to like.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a crowd pleaser if it's on in the background.
Another great point to that pick is the music.
Oh yeah.
Like even you got great music in the background, you've got great like lines and quotable, like that's a real good one.
Yeah.
That's a real good pick. Fire Earth 2 says Uncharted with Tom Holland was a missed opportunity. Agree, the games were great and deserved a better movie. I got like 10 minutes into it with my wife and we both were like, we're not enjoying this, so we turned it off.
You've seen 10 minutes of a lot of movies.
Yeah, it sounds like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Remind me, are you a gamer at all or no?
No.
So
I've played like maybe a little bit of Uncharted 2 when I like at my cousin's house. So
Yeah.
I'm like kind of familiar with how the game looks, but I've
This
never like played the
segues
story or anything.
this segues perfectly because I love the Uncharted games because it made me feel like I was living out a Indiana Jones adventure. Because it's like it's the closest thing there is to like a Indiana Jones like legitimate crazy video game. But yeah, I have softened up on the Tom Holland Uncharted movie as the years have gone on, and like kind of just been like, okay, it's stupid and dumb, but like enjoyable enough. Like I was more critical about it when it first released, but it is nothing like the games. Like to me, this is like it shouldn't even be called Uncharted. Like this is just its own random action adventure franchise now because I think they are making a second one. Um,
I
like
think I heard that too. Yeah.
characters are horribly cast. Like they're nothing like the characters in the video games. But yeah, it's definitely a missed opportunity because they didn't do it in an authentic way at all, and just kind of like use the name. But
See, that's the funny thing too is like I didn't play the games like I mentioned,
yeah,
but one of the reasons why it wasn't working for me and my wife is because we felt Tom Holland was miscast.
hmm
Honestly, it felt we just didn't buy it. We didn't
So
buy into it.
do you know that that movie was in production hell for so long that originally Wahlberg was young enough that he was supposed to play Nathan Drake? I swear to God. So like it was in production hell for like a decade so that he grew out of it and wasn't even able to
Wow.
convincingly play Nathan Drake anymore. So they were like, all right, we'll just have him play Sully. Again, I'm a Boston guy, so I have to like Mark Wahlberg, but terrible casting for him as this guy Sully. That's like his mentor kind of and like partner.
But Mark
Um,
Wahlberg is still in really good shape. Like, was he really that old?
I think it's because they were trying to go for so they probably tried to like James Bond it a little bit, right? Like they're like
Mm,
trying to find someone that was younger that like A
right,
was mainstream that people already liked, and B that like if it was a huge hit, you'd be getting Uncharted 10 by now.
right. No, that's a good point. Kenny Sparks saying deciding not to work for Disney is cutting off working with almost half the industry. I don't think people realize how much Disney owns. I'm sure Johnny does though.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. That's another real good point actually. I didn't think of that side of it. The laser says when Bro said "see you in the sheet," I thought he saw singing the Little Mermaid song "Under the Sheets" and got confused. And I said, "What do you mean by that? Under the sea?" You thought he was singing "Under the Sea"?
Yeah, Laser, you're confusing me even more.
Under the Sheets. That is a different song. I'm sure. I don't think you find that in Little Mermaid. Maybe the honeymoon scene that we never got. Enviro Earth 2 says my favorite Barney moment was when he scammed girls into sex through breast reduction surgery. I fortunately don't really remember that.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that
So,
occurring.
but I believe it happened. Did you ever watch How I Met Your Father?
None of it. So I haven't seen any of those kind of like reboot
Yeah.
like from a previously successful IP shows.
3 episodes and I was out. I didn't think it was very funny.
Yeah. Longer
Dark
than 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I got longer than 10 minutes on that one. Dark Movie says, I wish I could sleep 2 more hours, but yeah, high school for crazy. Full crazy. Is that how the
So
kids
crazy. I don't
full
know.
crazy?
But I'm gonna start saying it.
uh the Doom popcorn bucket with a skull emoji. Yeah, those things look kind of
I don't know.
nasty.
I don't know who approved that.
I watched 3C Films. He had
Mhm.
like a short where he demonstrated it because I guess they sent him one. I don't know why they sent him one because his review was awful for it. Like
Yeah.
it did not convince me to get one at
Well, there's
all.
like tons of jokes about it in general. I get it, but it doesn't even look functional to use for popcorn.
Yeah, it
Like
did.
it's
It
like you're hurting your
didn't at
hand. It's like
all.
through all those bristles.
Yeah, I probably won't be getting that. To be
I feel like I have.
honest.
I feel like I have to. It's become a meme. Like I feel like it's too funny. I'd have it like up on the mantle or something.
Dark Movie says Dune Part 2. Super excited about it. Watching Part 1 and 2 in cinemas on February
That's
27th.
awesome.
I gotta see if Part 1 comes to my theater on the 27th. I will see it in theaters.
It should. I mean, I'd be surprised if it didn't. It's really making its rounds with the
Yeah,
release. Yeah,
I'll have to.
it's
I'll
by
have to
me.
keep
I
my eye
mean,
out
I
for
know
that.
I'm in a huge city, but it's all over where I am.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is that I only have one theater. Like Canada kind of has like one
What's the? Is it a
chain.
chain?
It's Cineplex.
Okay, yeah, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's Cineplex. That's like exclusive, maybe not exclusive to Canada, but like that's what Canada uses. Like
Is it
I don't.
close to your house at least?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's like a 10-15 minute drive depending
Yeah.
on traffic. But like we don't have AMC. There's no Regal. Um like a lot of these like theaters that you guys talk about in the States, like I only hear about because you guys talk about them who do
Yeah.
movie reviews in the States. Like I don't have any access to any of those. Which the AMC A list is one of those dreams of mine that I would love to have.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Environment 2 says, if Deadpool 3 is successful, do you think we could get another solo Wolverine movie with Hugh Jackman? No, I don't
He's
think
done.
so. Yeah. He is basically only doing this as a favor to his friend. Honestly, I think.
I said he was done already, so maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but I think he's done.
I think he's done too, because like he's close with Ryan Reynolds, he's close with Sean Levy. So the potential to work with his friends, I think, is one of the big reasons why it enticed him back. And Kevin Feige, he's got a long history with Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige was like an executive producer or something like that, or maybe an assistant director or something like that on the very first X-Men film. And he's the one that like convinced them to give Wolverine his iconic Wolverine hair in the movie. And there was that story. I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but it was in the Marvel book, the MCU, the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Hollywood book that came out, where he was slipping the actors comics because they were told not to have any knowledge of the comics for their characters, but Kevin Feige was like providing them to all the cast. So
That's interesting.
I think he just goes like back so far with all these people that I think that's one of the reasons why he came back to do Deadpool 3. But I don't think he has any interest in doing like a solo Wolverine or any more X-Men films.
It's
beyond that.
interesting though when you think about it, that knowing all that apparently, this is at least what Reynolds says, is that like he was pitching this movie to Kevin Feige like 3 or 4 years ago and he kept saying no. So it's kind of, I'm wondering what changed, or if, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, we don't know their lives, so
No.
we don't we can only speculate. And sometimes we are way off. Dark Movie saying I'm also kind of excited about Gladiator 2. How do you feel about Gladiator 2? Because I love the Gladiator, but I'm iffy on this one.
That's definitely on. It was on my top 10 most anticipated. I think as he gets older, so I've said this for a little while, but I think if you ask me on the right day of the week, Ridley Scott might be like my favorite director ever. It's like him and Fincher kind of go back and forth a lot. And now with Ridley Scott getting older and getting a little cranky, let's be honest, there are two different sides of him now. Like half of his filmography of recent years has been pretty bad, and then half of it has been awesome. Like I don't know if you saw it, but The Last Duel with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, Adam Driver. And
yeah, I
Jodie
really like
Comer,
that one.
That was my favorite movie of 2021. Like, so he's still able to put out absolute bangers, but then like House of Gucci and Napoleon weren't really it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what side of him we're gonna get with this, and I also don't know if this required a sequel, but I have to be optimistic just because of my history with Ridley Scott.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best, but I can't say I have much faith.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
the cast rocks though, so
yeah, that's very true. The cast does. Kenny Sparks saying Napoleon was awful.
Yeah, I didn't think it was awful, but it definitely was very long in the tooth, and he definitely needed some assistance on that one.
I agree with that. Yeah, I was severely disappointed with that. So it looks like we still have a couple more comments here. Most of it is kind of just like I said, comments and statements. Some people saying editing dark movies says that he can't multitask. So same with Kenny Sparks. He's saying he can't watch things and edit. I can listen to, what's that say? Lo-fi?
It's
Lo-fi?
like, do you know what that is?
Oh no, what's lo-fi?
It's basically like a chill meditative version of like popular songs or music. So there's like tons of like Star Wars lo-fi, or like, Lord of the Rings lo-fi. It's actually very calming.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that. I might have to look into that.
We have it
Yeah.
for like everything.
Other than that, it looks like we're all caught up on most of the questions in the comments, and it's almost 10:30 here. So what? It's like almost like 2 o'clock for you there. It's getting close.
I'm still going, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
late.
it's getting close, and I do have to get up for work in the morning. So I think we're gonna call it there, guys. I think that's gonna be the show for today, and it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, everyone who joined and commented and gave us fun things to talk about. Apologies if we did not get to your comment or question, but we do really appreciate you being here. I also want to thank Sully Streams for being here, being the guest on tonight's show. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, I'm literally everywhere at Sully Streams. I think I'm most active on YouTube and Twitter, and I do some Instagram stuff. That's where I started creating content, but don't really do that as much anymore. But yeah, just anywhere you want to find any content at Sully Streams.
Excellent. And as for this channel, I'm probably going to see Lisa Frankenstein tomorrow, so you can probably expect a review up by Friday evening, probably at the late. Unless I see it Friday, then it'll be Saturday, Sunday at the latest. As far as next week goes, next week is Valentine's Day, as mentioned earlier in the show. There won't be a show next week because it's Valentine's Day. I'm either going to be spending it with my wife, or if something ends up happening, I'll be spending it with Madam Web. But
There we go.
regardless of what happens, there won't be a show next week. So appreciate you all. Appreciate you, Sully, for being here and giving your time. It's not lost on me that all of you guys here are deciding to spend your time talking movies and entertainment with me, and it's greatly, greatly appreciated. And with that, guys, we'll talk to you guys again, not next week, but the following week. Same exact time, same exact channel.